The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
As most fathers know, childbirth is easy and painless. And with a little help from what's-her-face, raising kids takes almost no effort at all. This Father's Day, give Dad what he really deserves. Booze. The same relaxing concoction that kept Dad snoring away on the lazy boy while you were being rushed to the hospital with playground injuries. This Father's Day, help Dad relive the soothing, carefree days of your childhood. With booze. Available in small, medium, and what do you mean I have kids?
So is everybody excited for Father's Day on Sunday?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I am your father.
You are the father!
Ladies and gentlemen.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, son.
The weekend.
I'll be damned. We've somehow gutted out a 4-day work week.
Warriors.
It'd be a shame to F it up now, after all we've been through. Welcome to the Half-Ass Morning Show. We hope not to F this up, our final day of the work week. We'll try to do our best for you. Let us be the first to dump a heartfelt Happy Father's Day on all you suckers who have put themselves in that unenviable position.
Some on purpose, some not.
Some not. Josh, happy F me running Father's Day tomorrow or Sunday or whenever it comes into play.
It's on Sunday.
Sunday?
I appreciate it. You know, every year it's that time where I reflect and think how amazing it is. Ashley, I hope you're listening. Men's bodies create life. I mean, think about that for a second. It's amazing what a man's body, a man's body can do. Create life.
It's beautiful.
It's really impressive.
And
I don't know what we would do without you guys.
Yeah. Thank you, finally. And, you know, and it's nice that we have one day a year to recognize that.
Yeah, it is a beautiful thing.
I hope my wife, when I come home, or my mom, they really celebrate that. How my body has added another human being, a productive human being to the world.
Oh, I think I'd count on it, Josh.
Oh, you think so?
I think your wife and your mother will, yeah.
The way they've planned nothing, you think so? I kid, of course. It's second to Mother's Day, Ashley.
Yes.
My wife is a much better parent than I'm not even really a parent.
That's
like,
nonsense.
I'll write the checks.
That's nonsense.
I'll drive places for them, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you were at football camp yesterday. Look at you, Father of the Year.
I like Father's Day more than Mother's Day for selfish reasons, because for Mother's Day, you usually go out to brunch or you do some type of eating. But for Father's Day, you usually get to do something fun, like go play golf or go fishing or something that's like more, I don't know, appealing.
Dads are more fun. Guys are more fun.
Yeah.
Boys drool, girls drool.
I've got a couple buddies, just like you said, the fishing and the golfing, but they will be doing that with some other buddies, and that's it. Their Father's Day is just to take a little time off.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You know you love being a dad, Josh. Hell, you volunteered for it right from the get-go.
I did. I mean, I've mentioned it before. Of course, I love my wife. I'm very lucky in that relationship, and you know, the big part of it for me was she came with 2 awesome kids. I've been very lucky to share their lives.
You're good at it, too.
I don't know about that. I try. I do my best.
I would have made a terrible father.
I can't imagine not having them. And, you know, I want to recognize, too, the families that are trying to have kids. We went through that ourselves. We had a couple real tough spots.
You were pumping away like it was prom night.
Yeah, there was a few bad things happen. And, you know, I've mentioned this quickly. We don't need to get too deep into it, but we lost a daughter who didn't survive very long after being born. And I've met plenty of other families who have had something similar or are going through it, and I know how much of a struggle it is. So for moms and dads who may have found themselves in that position, I certainly feel for you. And I always remember that on Mother's Day and Father's Day. You know, it's heartbreaking, and it's crazy because you think, you know, some people get pregnant the first time under the bleachers. They didn't even know they're going to have sex. They're teenagers. Yeah. You know, they walk by each other, and then it's so strange how difficult it can be.
It's a beautiful
thing.
To
make that happen.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
We're doing like a little lunch thing tomorrow, and hopefully not too much. Because, you know, my wife's like, what do you want to do for Father's Day? And my typical answer for any type of thing like that is nothing.
Yeah.
That'd be the best.
Sit on the couch, please.
Yeah, nothing special. We don't need to do a thing.
Whether it be a holiday like Father's Day or a random Tuesday in October, what would you like to do today? Nothing.
Hey, come on over.
Yeah.
Let's not really do anything.
Yeah, it's a hell of a deal. Happy Father's Day to all of y'all who have gotten involved in such a thing. Josh is a dad who cares. You want to hear about a dad who didn't care? And of course, I'm not talking about one of these scumbags who doesn't provide for their children. I'm not talking about the dudes who don't honor their responsibilities. Nothing serious here. This is a comedic program, hopefully. But this was a moment where a pal of mine reacted in a way where I think a lot of fellow parents would have dumped this line out. They probably would have said, "Great parenting." I've heard that a few times, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I don't think usually by the most unqualified person in the room.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll hear a story about a kid's behavior. That's the one that bothers me the most. You'll see a kid kind of acting up, doing something, nothing wildly inappropriate, just a kid being a little crazy. And someone in the room will say, as they watch the kid go running and screaming by, someone in the room will say, "Well, that's great parenting right there."
That's something I know you and I agree on pretty much everything, if not everything. And that's something you and I have talked about before, where sometimes kids can just turn out to be dicks, and it has no bearing on the parenting.
Absolutely. But then I know so many people who will always 100% put it on the parents. I grew up with a handful of dudes whose parents, I don't know every little last thing about their parents, but I knew them pretty damn well. The kids turned it out, the parents were fine. They were good people. The kids turned out to be absolute derelicts.
Yeah.
Derelicts.
I can tell you, I've got similar experience and the other way around, where the parents were awful, awful people, but the kids turned out great.
Yeah.
My parents are, I'd like to think my parents are really good people.
Well, they're a little different.
Their children aren't like the best example of that, that's for sure.
Meaning, like, you're saying, please don't judge our behavior on our parents?
Yes.
Our parents are better than what we've become?
Absolutely. My parents raised me much better than I am.
Yeah, me too. Well, maybe I can't say the same thing. Maybe I am. Maybe they did create exactly what you're looking at. But anyway, I get aggravated when people are always so quick to put it on the parenting. You can be an absolute animal, and it has no bearing on your parents. I've seen it play out 4 or 5 times. Trust me, I grew up with some guys, like I said, their parents were fine, but yet they still turned out to be effing criminals. But anyway, I was telling you a story about what I thought was a humorous moment where I think a lot of other parents would have said something or another to my pal for his lack of caring. He and I were making a long stinking road trip up north, fishing trip. We had about 5 hours to go. I'm driving, he's in the passenger seat. We had a lot of time to kill between point A and point B. About 45 minutes into our car ride, he gets a phone call on his cellular device, and this is all I hear. He says, "Hello? Yeah, this is." No, actually I don't. And he hangs up the phone. And I said, "Well, who was that?" And he said, I guess it was my daughter's teacher, 4th grade teacher. I said, "Well, what did she say?" "Well, she said, 'Is this Mr. Johnson?' And I said, "Yeah, it is." And the teacher said, "Do you have some time to talk about your child's behavior in school?" And I said, "No, I don't."
Kind of love that.
And I said, "Are you kidding me? We have 5 hours to go here behind you don't." And he goes, "Yeah, I don't really want to talk to her." And I said, that's incredible to me. You don't have any interest in what she might be referring to.
Yeah.
Dad.
Do you have some time to talk about your child's behavior in school? "No, I don't." And he hangs up the phone. That was awesome.
Not even remotely
fine.
curious.
The next phone call, of course, was from his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Because the teacher then moved on down the list of numbers and called his wife. And The wife's calling him saying, "Why didn't you answer the phone?" I'm driving. We're going fishing. I didn't have time to talk to the. I thought that was a beautiful thing.
The T-shirt should just always call the mom first. If they see the number and the name, just always call the mom.
Well, so yeah, usually they're more informed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His wife was on the line saying, "You couldn't take 10 minutes. You had no idea what she was calling about, but you didn't take the time." No, I didn't. No, I did.
Yeah, you're right. Nope.
I will say, we've played this in the past, the Jimmy Kimmel bit where for Father's Day, they'll send one of their guys out on the street and they'll ask fathers questions they should know about their kids. And, of course, the ones they put on TV are where they totally screw it up, right? And I've been in that spot, like I'll bring the kid to the doctor. Is he allergic to anything? I'm like, let me call my wife. And I'd have to maybe do that 3-4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff slips my mind or I'm not 100% sure. Some of the big stuff I'll get. But I've spelled one of the kids' names wrong.
That away.
We had to go get a COVID test, and it was the full name, and I'm like, wait a minute. I forget how it goes. We never use that.
When I was younger, probably in my late teens, I remember me and my mom were at the doctor, and we were giving them, they asked for my birth date, and she was like, 96, and I was born in 97, and I was like, no, it's 97, Mom, and she was like, I'm pretty sure, like, I know when you were born. It's like, Mom, I'm telling you, I was born in 1997.
I hear you.
We get older and we forget things.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
You can't. It used to be where you could keep adding stuff, but now you have to remove things to add new things.
It's amazing how that happens. You could recall any date, any time, anything that happened when you were a kid, and now it's like, was that a year ago or is that 5 years ago? I have no idea.
I have trouble when people say, "What'd you do last weekend?"
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess that when you live life where every day is exactly the same, then you kind of forget. But if there's like a milestone, I may remember, like leaving the house or specifically the zip code on a weekend.
Yeah, there were some questionable dads in my neighborhood growing up. Josh, you talk once in a while about how your dad was kind of a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, he was, up until maybe his late 50s, the angriest guy I've ever known. He was also a very sweet, thoughtful guy.
The handful of times that I talked with your dad, he couldn't have come off like more of a low-key, calm, pleasant individual.
And so But
I met him in his later years.
Then that's the thing. So like my wife and my youngest, unfortunately, didn't get to know him very well. But nobody believed me until my brother backed me up. Nobody believed that my dad was like that. And so my dad would be like idling, and all of a sudden he's at 100 miles an hour. He would go from nothing to just incredible, terrifying rage. And sometimes it took nothing to get him there, like barely anything. So I always walk on eggshells around certain people because I'm always afraid they're going to blow, just like my dad would.
It's kind of similar to when I tell stories about my brother's younger days. My brother was a buck wild animal when we were young. Beat the living hell out of anybody that crossed his path, and in his mind did him wrong. Just an animal. I tell these stories once in a while, and Josh, I mean, sometimes when I tell the stories, you say, I just can't believe that's the same guy that I know now.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I know you well enough to know if you're telling the truth or not. Mm-hmm. And I know you're telling the truth. But, yeah, when you guys have met Nick's brother, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, you have a different view. I love being around your brother. He's an awesome guy.
He seems pretty chill, yeah.
I like to bust his balls, but he's an easy guy to get along with these days.
Oh, yeah. He's great. He's a great guy. So you tell me these stories, and it's fascinating, but it's so hard to believe that it was him.
My brother would walk into a beer party, and the majority of the folks would walk out because they knew it's only a matter of time before he picks somebody up over his head like it's a Royal Rumble and throws them through a window.
Does he have any of that left?
Oh, yeah, it's still there.
Is it?
He just knows how to better contain it now. The rage is still there.
Will he be on the boat?
God dang it, I got to make some phone calls.
Yeah, you better do that.
I forgot to ask people about the boat. My friends is what I mean by that. I'm sure he'll go. Here's where I can show you that the rage is still there. Let my brother drive you to the boat. Between picking you up at your house and Stillwater, he will have a dozen meltdowns behind the wheel where he's, gesturing to the other driver. You want to scrap? You just cut me off.
Yeah, and we're going to be going through rush hour, too. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But, back to, I was saying there were some questionable dads in my neighborhood growing up, and I threw it Josh's way. Your dad was a tough bastard when you were young. But it's all about what you're used to. Like, here's an example. There was a family up the street from ours. Their dad would get drunk as balls on Friday nights and watch the Twins game. And when the game didn't go the way he wanted it to go, he'd smash beer bottles up against the wall. Ah!
Man.
I remember riding my bicycle. We'd all riding bikes and whatnot. And you could hear him inside the house go, son of a bitch, crash. And a beer bottle would hit the wall. And I hung out with his son, right? It's all about what you're used to. 2 days later, that kid with the crazy beer bottle throwing dad is on our property. My dad swings open the door. My dad always been a pretty low-key guy, but he can flip out now and again. My dad throws open the door. He's pissed at me over something. Of course, he's not wearing a shirt. He's wearing his tough skins, whatever, blue jeans, whatever, the cheapest. He looks, what's left of his hair is disheveled. He could look like kind of he got the cheap tattoo on his shoulder. And my dad yells at me about something. I don't know what. I told you to take the garbage out. Now get your skinny ass in here and take the garbage out, right? And he goes back in the house. And this kid with the beer bottle throwing dad, he says to me, your dad's kind of scary. And I said, my dad's scary? Your dad was smashing Hohensteins into the wall because the Twins didn't turn a double play in the top of the fourth inning. What are you talking about? My dad is. But it's all about what you're used to.
My mom, I was maybe third grade, and I used to get in a lot of fights when I was real little. I had my dad's temper, and she told me, you can't have your dad's temper. You just can't do it. And I remember that conversation to this day, and so I've done my best to not have that. I've probably blown up maybe 10 times since then. 3 of those, I think, at our old producer, Ross.
I saw those. Those were great.
Maybe 2. Yeah, 2 or 3.
You picked yourself up out of your chair. Are you kidding me? Kind of a thing. I loved it. I loved it.
One guy that kept insulting Minnesotans on a work trip we went to. And I put up with that for 3 days.
You did?
I put up with that as long as I possibly could.
In all fairness, you kept a lid on it for 3 days.
But I've never blown up in front of our kids. Never. I've never even yelled. But, and it's so different from, and I think it's because of just how I grew up. It was so much, and I was so terrified. I just didn't want to keep that up. And I remember that conversation with my mom.
I remember maybe I was 5th grade or 6th grade. Someone down the street from me had their own basketball hoop. So I'm crossing fools over one afternoon, right, Josh?
Sure, breaking ankles.
Playing hoops. And I got in a confrontation with one of the kids in the neighborhood, and I tuned him up a little bit. And I wasn't a fighter like my brother, but every once in a while, you're a kid. You get in scraps. And I tuned this kid up a little bit, and he left. And I'm on my way home. I'm walking home from this basketball scene, and I see the kid's dad walking down the street towards me. And I thought, yeah, here it comes. And I was so unprepared for this. I figured he was going to say, now listen, if you have a problem, physical confrontations I thought he was going to come off like Mike Brady kind of a thing. And he walked up, and we're getting closer and closer and closer, and he walked up, and he punched me in the face.
Oh, my God.
Way.
And he said, there, you punch my kid, I get you. Have a nice walk home.
That's insane.
I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked by this.
I could see why.
Dad would be in jail if that happened today.
Did you go home and tell your dad?
Yeah, he made a phone call.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. It was one of those deals. And I just sat there with this stupid smile on my face, my lips dripping blood.
Get him, Dad.
Get him, Dad. Go ahead.
More anxiety than hair, Jesus said his favorite story of his dad is he was told when he was a kid, his dad used to tell him he was born a girl but his dad really wanted a boy, so he kept squeezing his head until his wiener popped out. And he said, I believed that for a long time.
We got to get this one listener tickets on the boat, maybe. This is fun. There's one listener out there. I don't know his name. He never leaves a Jesus name, but I get a kick out of him because he's always busting my chops and trying to piss me off. I dig you, dude. You know who you are already. He texted in and he said, your brother, bro? He's weak AF. So we got to get this guy on the boat, and then we'll get my brother on the boat.
Yeah.
And get
don't obviously not knowing what this gentleman looks like or how if he's strong AF. But so far, and I mean no disrespect to this person that texted, just because I've seen your brother, so far my money's on your brother.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not knowing our competitor.
Not knowing. Tough to bet on an opponent you don't know.
Yeah.
And also, if I've mentioned this before, my brother, who is a dad, and I will make a point of not wishing him a happy Father's Day this weekend. I'll be seeing him tonight. I'm not going to say a word. Not going to wish him I've mentioned this before. If there is a time to go after my brother, it might be now. He's got 2 hernias cooking right now.
Does he?
Yeah, 2 hernias. So
from lifting?
Yeah, he's always pressing weights. He thinks he's a big tough guy with the weights.
I just heard recently on the radio he's weak AF.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what somebody said.
I love that bit.
That guy?
Yeah.
Does like to go after you.
What else is going on around here? Later on this morning, somebody or another from Rick's Cabaret will be swinging by our studio.
Huh? Shane
from Rick's Cabaret will be swinging by our studio to tell us about a special party they got planned for tonight. We'll tell you all about that. Randy Shaver live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
He'll be in a good mood.
You think so?
Yeah,
well, he's on vacation.
He's on vacation from TV. It's a Friday, and he's spending time with one of his kids. He's going to be in a great mood.
We'll see about that. And I got a text here from Australian Jesus.
He's a big drink of water, isn't he?
He sure is.
Weak AF is what I think about him.
I wonder if he is weak AF.
He is.
That'd be kind of funny with how big he is.
He texted and said, yesterday I had a root canal. Oh, wow.
I've never heard anything good about those. No. I wonder if they're as bad as they used to be.
I bet technology's improved, yeah.
I would think so.
So, anyone here on the panel's had one?
No.
I was told I might need one. Luckily, that wasn't the case.
Here's what he says in his text message. I had a root canal, and also on the same day I saw what he calls here that Minnesota movie Joe Somebody, featuring your mate. See, now he's sounding.
Oh yeah.
Now he's sounding like a Canadian. Canadians are always saying, "What's going on, mate?"
Yeah, they're always saying, "Hey, join us in the Down Under."
Right. I hate
up there
that.
in Canada.
I hate that.
Always like shrimp on the barbie.
In Canada, right, Wapple?
Yeah, totally.
I'm totally ripping off an Andrew Dice Clay bit right now. He says, I saw the movie Joe Somebody featuring your mate Tim Allen. Same day he had a root canal. He said, I'm not sure which experience sucked more.
Oh, really?
But he says it was pretty cool seeing Jesse the Body in the movie. I've never heard of this. Joe Somebody? What is it?
They're setting up an office fight, right? There's like a bully and there's a big office fight.
Is this from the 90s or something?
2001.
Yeah, it was going to say, very early 2000s.
Okay.
I actually like that, but I like Tim Allen. But, it's one of those things, that's 22 years ago, right? So if I watched it now, maybe I wouldn't like it, but I actually like that movie. Maybe because it was set in Minnesota.
All right.
And like I said, I like Tim Allen. He doesn't have to do much for me to be entertained.
That's funny. And Australian Jesus also, at the end of his text message, he wishes us, is how you say it. He wishes us a happy Friday. Dude, don't start.
I've dropped that one a couple times.
I had to stop because I did it, and then all of a sudden Dana took it over, and so I just thought we can't have two guys doing Happy Friday in all the emails and stuff.
Unbelievable. Starting trouble like that, wishing us a happy Friday.
He's a hell of a guy,
Stupid.
that Australian Jesus.
No, he's a nice guy. Can't understand a word he's saying.
You know, it is English he's speaking.
I couldn't make out anything that he was saying on the boat.
I didn't have any. Did you guys have trouble?
No.
I don't remember talking to him too much.
I mean, the hardest part is hearing him from the great distance between the top of my head and his
Yeah,
mouth.
that might be it. Yeah.
I think he's the tallest human being I've ever, outside of like a professional basketball player I've ever seen.
I hear you. But then again, I took a hard shot to the yap when I was a 12-year-old kid. That dad hit me in the yap pretty hard. Maybe that.
I'm pissed off about. Let's find him.
Well, this guy was a mess
Beat him
anyway.
up.
You know, this was a guy where there's nothing that we could do to him, Josh, now or then that he wasn't already doing to himself. You know what I'm saying? The guy was kind of a mess. He wasn't worth it. He had bigger problems than me, you know, tuning up his 5th grade son. He had bigger problems.
Did anything
Don't let it get you fired up.
I'm still a little. I'll try and calm down.
No, I remained buddy. It was the kid that I fought with, we were back to being neighborhood buddies, a day and a half later. You know how that stuff goes.
Well, yeah. Was he mortified, the kid?
I don't know, but we never really talked about it. I just, okay, your dad punched me in the yap. My dad called him and threatened to choke him. Let's just move on. Let's go back to bike riding and playing hoops and having fun. We didn't treat it as a big deal, at least me and the kid. So.
It's funny how that goes.
Yeah.
The kid, you can make up pretty quick. Ashley, you would be proud of Nick's godson. He got stabbed with a pencil a couple weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Kid got in a lot of trouble. And
just like Dad did.
Yeah, I did too. I got stabbed by my
his
best friend, just like you.
His godfather, me. I got stabbed in the arm with a pencil by my best friend when I was a kid.
And so this kid, he doesn't know very well. But
your son doesn't know very well?
He doesn't know him very well. And he wouldn't snitch. He wouldn't tell me.
Oh, wow.
He wouldn't tell me who it was. Although he accidentally did, because he's like, yeah, plus I kind of felt bad for him because the whole class kept making fun of him and making fun of Name and yelling at him, and everybody hates Name now. And so I told him, like, well, can I just guess which kid it was? And I threw the name out, and he looked at me like I was some sort of genius. How'd you figure that out?
Adorable.
Like, well, you accidentally told me twice in a row, you dummy. But I thought of you, Ashley. You were my first thought.
I love that. Oh, he got stabbed. Where did he get stabbed?
He got stabbed right in the index finger.
Oh.
So now they're going to be best friends from, the stories you guys tell.
Well, yeah, it was, like I said, it was my best friend, and we were just hanging out. All of a sudden, he decided, I wonder what this would be like. And I still have the little piece of lead or whatever it's in there.
Oh, so
I stabbed myself, but I have the little piece of lead in my hand, too.
Your buddy was just horsing around.
I think so. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why he did it. I remember being like, bruh, what are you doing? That hurt a lot.
When I got stabbed by a pencil, yeah, you've showed me before.
Oh, you've seen it before?
I can still see the lead in your hand. You can no longer see the lead in my arm. You could for years. Or maybe there's so many freckles and all that muscle.
That's the thing. How did he even penetrate the muscle?
But this was my best friend and next door neighbor, Pistol Pete from across the street. We were tighter than tight. But one day, I think it was 3rd grade, we had a confrontation in class and we fought, and he stabbed me. He meant to stab me with his pencil. Another shocking moment where I didn't see it come. I thought Pistol Pete and I thought we were tight enough to where, sure, we might have a fist, but we're not going to stab each other. He stabbed a pimp.
Well, I'll tell you this. So, my buddy, nothing happened. And you'd think today's day and age, something would happen, right? But nothing did. Which we were fine. Everybody was fine. But I thought, oh, man, this kid, he's in for it, and that nothing really happened. He got an endorsement by a pencil company.
He did.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Part of that NIL.
It's going to be a wonderful day here today. We got Randy coming in. We got the folks from Rick's Cabaret coming in. No dad fight. No.
Taking a week off.
Brad Ryder's out of town. Randy's up there in, Sioux Falls, over there in Sioux Falls. So we're skipping dad fights today. But we got plenty to cover, and we appreciate you being there. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something, Cubby. Let me tell you something that you already know.
What's that?
Something that you already know about myself. I love politics.
Gosh, yeah, you won't shut up about it.
I love to talk about it. I love to hear the political opinions of strangers on social media. I love it all. What's the latest in the local election? Somebody tell me what's up. I got to know. I love that stuff.
Well, you're the guy.
I'm the guy?
Yeah. You're
okay.
the only person I've ever met that refused to take their I just voted sticker off.
Yeah.
You want everybody to know.
What's going on? Who's running for president? I can't wait to talk about this stuff when the time comes.
I can tell you who said he wants to run for president.
Who says he wants to run for president?
Arnold Schwarzenegger recently said that he wishes he could run.
Why can't he?
He wasn't born in the States.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jesus. He ain't no kid anymore.
No, what is he, like 76? Maybe younger than that.
Well, that hasn't seemed to matter lately, has it?
Well, a lot of them are old. You know?
I love this stuff.
75.
Sounds here like a politician in Long Island, New York has effing cracked up. And some of you might be saying, well, look back at some of the clown-ass things American politicians have been doing over the last number of years. How bad can it be? Some of you might be saying, the guy cracked, how bad could it be compared to some of these other... well, I'll go ahead and tell you. A candidate by the name of Kevin Sabella Sr., he's running for something called Babylon Town Council.
It's always a hot race.
The guy's been hanging his dong out the front door of his house for the past couple of months. See, that sounds pretty bad to me.
Yeah.
This lunatic, who, by the way, is 63 years old, he's gone ahead and stood nude behind the screened front door of his house, looking out onto the street. For the past 2 months, he stands there in his doorway, D-swinging, for all to see. A lady that wishes she didn't live in his neighborhood and has to drive by his place regularly said he would open his front door and be standing there completely nude. Once we made eye contact, and I knew that it was intentional. You should see the pictures of his property. He's got his own campaign signs in the yard. I saw one still photograph. There are his campaign signs in his front yard, and right behind the signs, there he is in the door, balls out.
I got to say, I like that he is comfortable in his own skin. He doesn't have the type of body you might expect someone who wants to show it off.
Sure.
He's just saying, hey, this is me.
This is me. Take it or leave it.
I'm also campaigning for your vote, by the way. Trust local decisions.
Now tell me if I'm seeing things, Cubby, or what, but I look at the pictures. Is he wearing a mask? It appears he's wearing some kind of a creepy mask.
Oh, I guess I didn't...
Look again.
Oh, shoot. I don't know. Does he just have a pale face?
I don't know. I couldn't make heads nor tails of that. It's extra creepy if he's wearing a friggin' Halloween mask, isn't it?
Or is he wearing sunglasses? You're right. Something's with his eyes. You're right. There's something there.
This gal in his neighborhood says he would wait for her in his doorway, naked, every day. She counted at least 10 times. So maybe I shouldn't say every day, but she counted at least 10 times where dude would stand in his front door completely naked. Whatever silly party this obviously troubled dude was running with has said they no longer support his running for town council. And residents of this town had plenty to say about it. One gal in the neighborhood said, it's shocking and scary. It's very inappropriate. And he clearly knew what he was doing. Now, it's funny to read here. that elected members of the town council, the gig that this dong shower was trying for, they are responsible for various quality of life issues like public safety and cracking down on indecent exposure in the town. Oh, and creating youth programs. Well, sure, let's line this effing guy up with the kids in town.
If you don't want to see this, vote for me.
I am your elected official.
Another neighbor said, at the end of the day, I think he's just a sexual predator. It's not mentioned at all here in the story, but I'm curious, why hasn't this garbage pile been arrested?
Maybe he has since press time here.
Because they don't mention anything about that. You can't just stand in your door with your schlong out over and over and over again and not have the cops come to your door and ask you, what gives.
I thought we heard before there's protections if, let's say, you're, walking from down your hallway and there happens to be a window there and it's not intentional. But yeah, when you're standing there staring creepily out your front door.
Day after day.
Yeah, that's not an accident. Mm-hmm. That's not somebody just peering in and that's their fault. He's hoping that.
Yeah,
happens.
he's wanting it.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like you mentioned, there are certain protections when you're in your own home. I mean, I remember years ago, I was not thinking clearly and I walked ass naked right in front of my own picture window, and I used to live on a busy highway, and there was a family walking down the sidewalk, and I thought, for God's sake, I'm going to jail.
I'm really bad at that, especially at my boyfriend's house. He's constantly telling me, like, do it. The window, like, put some clothes on. The window's open. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, it's fine. No one's looking in here.
Chicks are like that. You know how many times I've heard that?
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Almost every woman I've ever dated, they've said that to me. They're walking around nude, and they pass by a window, and I say, for Christ's sake, shut the blinds. And they always say, who's looking in the window?
Yeah.
I used to live in this building. We had these giant, windows, floor-to-ceiling type windows.
Nice.
And we probably got 10 emails, 10 automated text messages alerting us in the days leading up there. The window washers were going to be there. Be aware. And sure enough, I get out of the shower, walk into the bedroom. Not going to be a great day. Yank the thing. The guy's right there. And I'm just bare naked. I just dove to the ground like an army crawled out of the room.
So you're saying you were well aware.
I mean, it slipped my mind.
Right time. Sure. Right.
Hello.
Yeah. Right, here's a guy trying not to incriminate himself. Yeah. I know we have a couple of window washers who listen to the show. We hear from them from time to time. Maybe they've got a story like that. Maybe they've seen something.
Oh, I hope they didn't see me.
Ashley, or Wapple, write down movie idea. Window washer sees a crime and has to kind of, run for his life.
Yeah, that's
because they try and eliminate him as a witness.
Yeah, and then the assassins or something see the window washer, and then he skirt,
exactly.
Goes down.
And they call it, maybe they can call it washout.
I like that.
Ooh, whitewash. All right. Another super sexy and effable sex doll has been mistaken for a dead body. This time it was in Texas. Cops were called to a house at a place called Harris County after a, quote, body was discovered laid out in a yard. The cops were told a deceased female had been discovered, but it wasn't a person. Again, it wasn't a person. It was just a 3-input high-dollar sex doll.
The local media reported on it, and it was kind of funny, the female anchor's reaction at the end of the story.
We have a humorous update to a story that we brought you on Live at 5.
Yeah, we told you Harris County deputies were on the scene where a woman's body had been found. In fact, deputies were at the scene for 2 hours before realizing what had actually been found. Turns out they had a very lifelike intimacy doll on their hands. Deputies left the scene without collecting any evidence.
That's what you call them, intimacy dolls?
She doesn't approve. Wapple, you're my little intimacy doll.
Now, this doll was dismembered, which was kind of creepy. The doll was only wearing a pink bra and underwears. But, on a more serious note, the story says that this shook up the cops a little bit because a couple of real dead bodies have been found in the area the past few days, which is awful, of course.
Oh, what's going on?
I don't know.
I might have fell for it. I mean, I saw the photo of it. pretty realistic looking, covered in mud. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about Death Streak for the name of our window washer movie?
Oh,
Where
that's a good one.
Very good.
He sees a crime in progress.
I would probably, just from like being on this show and all the stories we hear, I'd probably assume if I saw a dead body, like, oh, sex doll. I'd be more surprised if it was actually a dead body.
Nobody knows how to properly dispose of their F doll.
How do you? Are they recyclable?
Just put them in a garbage can.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Mm-hmm. You do the same thing as you would an enemy. You dismember them, and then you throw them someplace.
Give them to a buddy.
See, that's the thing is there's a large population of dudes who are buying these high-dollar 3-input sex dolls, and then when they're burned out on them or they smear them into nothing, they've smashed this sex doll into oblivion, they're too ashamed to put them in a garbage bag and put them in the damn trash. That's what it is. I wouldn't give a rat's ass. Hell, I once threw away, God help us, I think I had 3 trash cans full of porno. I put them in the garbage, and the neighbor guys went through it and took the ones that they wanted, and then I think my garbage man at the time kind of left me a note, like, word? So, but what are you ashamed of? So what?
Were these the movies that by proxy you received from me? I was
Yes.
just the middleman?
Yes.
Do you remember how I was presented those movies?
I remember it was your 30th birthday party.
It was my 30th birthday
How
party.
you were presented these movies, I don't know.
This is full circle. Garbage bags.
Oh, yeah, you were.
Yeah, they wrapped them in garbage bags. And those movies, I didn't watch any of them. I pretty much just handed them straight to you, but we looked at some of the covers. Those were garbage, just based on the cover.
I tried a few of them. Honest to God, how many DVD porno movies were you gifted on your 30th birthday? It had to be 100.
Oh, at least. And because
you gave me 99 of them. And a lot of them were not worth watching, but that's exactly full circle. A lot of them ended up in my trash can.
Yeah. I remember you were telling me, so I saw what it was. I'm like, well, here you go. And you had told me what was on some of them and how horrible some of it was.
They were really bad, really German.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of German. Because if you remember the reason I was gifted, though, it was my 30th birthday, but there was the woman who gave them to me. She worked for like a porn distributor.
Yes, she did.
Something like that. So she had
for
access to all that.
More hair than your granddad's barbershop floor. I mean, that was a hell of a deal. Yes, Wapple.
I was just going to say, that would be an expensive, white elephant present. For someone to do 100 porns.
Well, she got them for free, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Wow.
God, you're my little intimacy doll.
That's so cute.
No, I'm not a religious guy by any stretch of the imagination. But damn. This here is the kind of story that makes you want to say a prayer. It makes me want to, at least me, want to pray to God and baby Jesus. I would ask both of them to make sure that this effing guy gets a quick pass to hell whenever his miserable life is all said and done. A professor at Penn State University, a pile of feces human being named Themis Matsokis, has been accused of performing sexual acts with his dog.
Oh, no.
It says here in the article that he is a long-time and award-winning Penn State professor. He allegedly performed sexual acts with his dog, and those sex acts were captured on a state forest trail camera, is how they say it.
Yeah, I had a awkward moment with one of our dogs where I was absent-mindedly petting him, and he rolled over, and I was petting his belly, and I kind of brushed it for a second, and I almost vomited at that point. Yeah. This guy literally screwed the pooch. He's out of a gig.
Oh.
And why would you?
It's disgusting.
I don't know.
He's a 64-year-old pile of human feces, this Moustokis guy. He was allegedly is how you say it. He was allegedly caught earlier this year naked from the waist down except for his socks and shoes, committing sex acts with his collie. Ugh. Out in the woods. He would go out into the woods.
Finally, I'm safe.
Just bury him out there.
Finally,
Let the dog
what does
bury him.
finally I'm safe mean?
Well, he goes out in the woods, no one's around, and then all of a sudden these trail cameras get him.
Damn those trail cameras is your point to... this guy was identified partially because of a North Face backpack that he always carries around, and he had it. What did that person say to you, Josh, when they saw you wearing a North Face jacket?
Oh, the adventures you must have. Now, wait a minute. I know a guy that's got a North Face backpack.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I mean, look. You're right. Oh, my God. I have the same North Face backpack.
Well, the two of us like to go on adventures.
That this dog banger has.
You're not a dog banger.
I am not. After cops kind of caught on to these sick-ass dog molestations, they searched his house, Mr. Moustokis. They searched his house earlier this month, and apparently he went into a panic. This didn't help his situation. When he got there, cops started searching his home, and I guess he kept saying out loud, "Oh God, that's it. I'm dead. I'm done.
No.
That's it. It's over for me." This is what the cops are saying. At one point, he asked the cops to shoot him. And here's the line that'll probably stick with you. Apparently, when it comes to sexually assaulting an innocent animal, dude told the cops, "I do it to blow off steam."
Oh, there's other ways, man.
I don't know, pick up an instrument. Buy yourself an Xbox.
Go for a jog.
Yeah, gym membership, anything other than this.
He's on leave from the university until they find out whether or not this guy is a legitimate dog folder. He's allegedly been doing this since 2014. Doesn't it make you want to just give up hope for humanity?
Yeah, it very much does. I think they should somehow let the dog get back at him.
Just like a whole pack of dogs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a pack of dogs. Is that poor dog that's been molested? Oh, God, I don't. But like Josh said, I think the cops should take all the angriest stray dogs they found over the last few months and just cut them loose on this creep.
Yeah, the ones that they've rescued from like fighting rings.
The ones
Just
that Michael
let them in a
Vick
room.
wouldn't even mess with. You know what I mean?
Some of those canines. Just send some of those dogs after him.
Let them go.
It can only be Jared Jesus asked me this. Now, I had mentioned I accidentally brushed it when I was petting my male dog.
Yeah.
This was a couple years back, and he wants to know how long I could feel it on my hand after accidentally brushing it. To this day.
Yeah.
To this day. It disgusts me so much.
You can think back, remember what that feeling was like?
He still looks at me like, what's your problem, man? Why would that happen?
Well, you guys know I had a dog for a couple years that I had to wipe after she went potty.
Yeah, that was interesting.
She gave me a couple of looks as if to say, what are we gonna, why are you?
Do we need to redefine her relationship here?
Didn't after a while she look at you like, time to wipe my VV?
She did.
Yeah.
She got used to it. She understood, I think, that I was doing her a favor. She was unable to clean herself because she was paralyzed.
Hey,
that was old Cook Bagooks.
Yeah. She was on wheels for a while there.
She had a wheelchair. Yes.
The gentleman that likes to go after you via text.
Yeah,
daily.
it's funny.
Yeah, he likes to go after. So he has come after me.
Oh, really?
Yes, he has. He's talking about. You wear North Face. You must be quite the outdoorsman. As a matter of fact, as I've clearly stated many times, I am an avid indoorsman. The most avid indoorsman you'll ever meet.
Nobody better than you, man. Not even
great.
close.
Should have a couch face.
Couch face.
Instead of North Face. Wapple, promo idea.
Now, if you're the type who's not ready to give up on humanity just yet, I got this next here story for you. Pictures are going around the internet of a naked guy banging a damn tree.
This is up on 93x.com.
Okay, I don't want you guys to look down on me, but I have seen a tree knot that was kind of sexy.
Yeah.
No, you did not.
I have.
Was that like the right kind of level too, where you could have done something?
A little lower.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have that dexterity. But yeah, it was so much so that I told a friend and he went to visit it to see for himself. I mean, honestly, if I took a picture of this thing, you guys might get turned on.
Yeah.
Well, at least this guy's far away. He's over there in stupid England, if that helps at all. I don't know. The pictures are just awful. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, they are.
We posted this or did we not? I can't
Yes,
remember.
we did.
We were okay to do that?
Yep. It's blurred out, so.
He was arrested for allegedly kissing, caressing, and having passionate sex with a tree at a public park. There were people hanging out at the park at the time. Folks were running for their damn lives. New guy in the corner puking his guts out kind of a thing. He was caught on camera. It didn't take long for the pictures to hit the internet. There he was, peeling off his clothes and rubbing himself off against the stump of a conifer tree, whatever that is.
Oh, it produces cones, right?
I have no idea.
Produces Chris Paul's.
I hate trees, but I would never bang one against its will.
I like trees.
Oh, I can't stand. I cannot wait. One day I will live so far from a tree.
It's like
I'm moving to the middle of the desert.
I want to someday live where I can't even see a tree line in any of the directions that I face.
I like the pictures because in one of them he's still got a shirt on, and then the next one he decided, all right, it's getting hot and heavy, shirt off.
My shirt would stay on.
Just pumping. A witness who shot pictures of this guy said, and he comes off very English here, I was just walking in the park with one of my mates, and we saw a man hugging a tree. I thought that was interesting. We walked closer, and as we did, we saw his trousers down, and the cops got him. That's gross, dude.
Side note, he has really skinny calves.
Yeah, he's definitely skipped leg day.
Yeah.
So, you guys, if you don't live in the city, you live in the, you know, right? Somebody says they affectionately call a tree on their street that word because of how hot the knot is.
What word?
It's if you don't live in the city, you live in the... I don't think I can say it. The United States is a...
Oh, God.
And it's the greatest of these in the world.
Oh.
I hear where you're going with this. All right, Josh, it's that time of year again. Folks in Thailand are once again parading around a huge wooden penis in order to summon the rain gods.
This is also up on 93x.com.
Residents in a town called Kanchanaburi, they take part in this ritual, an enormous wooden dong, and they throw it up on a parade float looking type of a setup to try and bring the rain. There's video. Did you notice, Josh, that the massive wooden peepee has a very irritated looking lid on it?
That's what I thought.
I don't think it, I mean, this is disappointing, to be honest.
It is so red.
Like, I wouldn't submit this to some sort of sexual art fair. I would think, this doesn't really look like...
It's crude.
Yeah, it's not... We've seen better.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
I just thought that...
I don't mean to disrespect somebody's carved dong.
The lid on it, the head on it, looks like it's in need of medical care. But look for it to rain any minute now over there. Well, actually, they say it has rained. It rained soon after they exposed the neighborhood to this big, fat wooden dong. It's tough to follow because the story comes from Thailand, but I think one of the dudes involved in this gimmick, so there they are, they just kind of paraded around town. One of the dudes involved in this gimmick said that the tip of the wooden penis, that irritated red tip that I was just referring to, is very important. I think what they're saying here is he points the tip at the areas that need the most rain. Are you dialed into that?
Yeah.
He makes sure he points, okay, what about this? You got any rain over there? Yeah. No. So he points it over. There you go. You're welcome.
Some for you, a little for you. You get some. You get some.
I also think, again, I can't be certain because of the way the story was written, they use this wooden Schwanstucker to pray for protection against evil spirits and ghosts. It's not just a rain-making device.
It's a versatile dong.
They believe that it brings mercy and popularity to the person who carries it. But this doesn't sound like a bad neighborhood. It sounds like they do some wacky-ass stuff there from time to time. They have a rocket festival.
Fun.
But this is my favorite. They go ahead, I guess, once a year with what they call here the Parade of a Cat. I got to see that. I guess it's just one cat on a
it's just
float.
one cat.
And everybody in town shows up to watch it go by. The parade of a cat.
I love this town. Just one little cat. Oh, I bet that cat has such a
You all right? You've got an ulcer.
Seniority complex.
I bet the cat is just saying to himself, well, this is a little strange. It's just me and the whole neighborhood's watching me go by, but thank God I'm not a dog at Penn State University. If you were listening 10 minutes ago, you get the joke. If you weren't, F off. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean for anyone to F off. Sorry I blew up, Josh.
You didn't blow up. You were just blowing off some steam.
I was.
In the correct way.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. I was trying to work in a bark joke between our first two sex stories, and I couldn't come up with anything good. You know, you get the guy having sex with the dog, the guy having sex with the tree.
You were trying to come up with a bark joke?
Yeah, somebody phrase a good bark joke.
I can't. It's Friday. I don't care anymore. I don't really care. Something else you were asking about, Josh, and I have an answer here for you. In Warsaw, Poland, bus 666 is no longer going to be going to the town of Hell, Poland. This used to be a fun gimmick for these people. There was a bus in town that was bus 666. A couple hours down the road was a town called Hell. Why the hell wouldn't you jump on that bus and ride the 666 bus to Hell?
That sounds awesome.
Tourists would show up to ride the 666 bus to Hell.
Yeah, I'd be there.
But they can't do it anymore because buzzkill Christian conservatives bitched about it.
I don't know, it seems pretty harmless to me. And I grew up in one of the most Catholic families you can grow up in. I mean, they're just having some fun.
Yeah, it's good for laughs.
People
They're
protest.
not like on a bus tour of evil or anything. That's just got a funny name.
People protested having a bus signifying the devil that would then go drive to a place called Hell. But here's the good news, Cubby. They're going to run a bus numbered 669 beginning here in a couple weeks until the religious folks find out how much fun we're having with bus 669, and then they'll try to shut that down, too.
I could see Dana on that bus.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking up tickets to Poland right now.
In my mom's phone number, she has the number 666 in a row. And one of my favorite things in the world is giving that number to people because they look at me like, oh, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, you're like,
she's
6, 6, 6.
Didn't, Nick, you at one point, when you were asked what kind of, or what phone number you wanted by your provider, you had a funny story. Maybe these people haven't heard this. By these people, I mean the ones I'm looking at over there.
Somebody was talking about someone who had changed their phone number to, whatever, 555 balls or something like that, right? This is many, many years ago. I had a home phone. This is 20-some years ago. So I had no idea you could do such. I didn't know you could call the phone company and ask them to change your phone number. I said, really? You can just call them and request a number? And the person said, yeah. So I called the phone company and I asked them at the time, the 3 digits, at the time I was living in a 478 area. And I said, will you change my number to 478, the F word? And the lady said, let me look it up. And she looked it up and she said, no, sorry, it's already taken. Yeah.
That's cool that you could have gotten it, though.
Yeah, I had no idea. As soon as I got home, I called the phone company. I wanted my number to have the F word in there. That's what you do when you're 23.
Yeah, I know a couple of people have changed it to something that means something to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like what did they do? Was it filthy like I came up with?
No, nothing filthy. But there's someone that they worked at a radio station and they had their radio station numbers in there.
Yeah.
Like their frequency numbers.
It's kind of douchey.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know what? It's really douchey.
You give someone your phone number. Hey, that sounds kind of like a radio station. Well, now that you mention it.
Oh, just so you know.
I work there. Yeah, I tried to be funny with it, but it didn't work out. But I thought the lady on the other end of the line at the phone company was going to say, you friggin' moron, we're not going to change your number to the F word. Yeah. But she said, hang on, I'll check. She just went with it.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
This Father's Day, gather round the grill with Kingsford, because a Kingsford flame is the perfect thing to stare at to avoid eye contact with your dad. Squirt the lighter fluid, listen to him say, "That's plenty," and realize it's as close to "I love you" as he's ever gonna get. Stand there as he retells the story of how you dropped a pop fly in Little League 37 years ago. Finally work up the courage to ask if he's ever felt how much you need him. Then listen to him reply, "Billy, I need you to get me another beer." Kingsford, you won't talk again until the 4th of July.
There you go. It's Father's Day tomorrow or Sunday. I can't remember which.
Sunday.
And by damn, we wish all you dads the greatest Father's Day of your lifetime. I know it's been a total disaster so far, fatherhood. Hopefully you have a good one this weekend and it makes up for all the garbage. Twins did not have a very good showing at home last night. The Detroit Tigers pumped them pretty good in the first of a 4-game series. The final score was 8-4.
They embarrassed themselves in front of T-Pain.
I think they were nervous for the big show.
I think they were too.
How many of you went and saw T-Pain after the Twins game?
I did not, no.
Nope.
Had some friends that went, though. It looked like it was fun.
The majority of my family went.
Really? You guys know people that went to go see T-Pain?
Oh, yeah.
What's his big hit single?
I couldn't tell you. He's the auto-tune guy.
T-Pain. Is he the one that sings
at Target Field after the Twins game?
That sounds good.
Is he the one that sings "Buy You a Drink"?
Buy you drank.
They buy you a drink.
The auto-tune guy is what they call him, huh, Cubby?
The auto-tune guy.
T-Pain to perform at Target Field after the Twins game.
I mean, you're basically T-Pain. Because I am experiencing some pain when I hear that.
Did you see all the hell they raised at the Denver Nuggets championship parade yesterday?
Got wild.
There was good and bad. There was good and bad at that parade. We'll tell you all about that when Randy Shaver jumps into the mix with us in a half hour live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Cubby's going to dump the news on you next.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
An important message from Blue Ridge Hospice. There may be several hospices now claiming to serve the area, but Blue Ridge Hospice is the only local hospice that has been serving here for 40 plus years, operates the only hospice inpatient care center, conducts the only community-wide grief and bereavement programs, offers a nationally recognized music therapy program in conjunction with Shenandoah University, outscores every other Virginia hospice in Medicare's quality scores, and so much more. Blue Ridge Hospice, the first, the best. Find out more at blueridgehospice.org.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
That's like a family, because that's what our church is, a family. You would never think something so devastating would happen in that little circle of people.
A youth pastor in upstate South Carolina has been charged after allegedly filming multiple women while they showered or used the restroom, including while at church. 35-year-old Daniel Mayfield, who served as a youth pastor at the Baptist Church since 2016, admitted to recording a woman while she showered at her mother's house May 27th. The woman and her sister reportedly found the pastor alone in the backyard after she saw a light outside the bathroom window. After looking into his phone, investigators reportedly identified at least 5 more victims, some of whom were allegedly filmed in the bathroom of the church. Mayfield is accused of setting up a camera there on at least 3 occasions, dating back as far as July. The First Baptist Church confirmed Mayfield was a student pastor there, but he was fired upon his arrest.
The church released a statement this afternoon saying Mayfield was fired, and law enforcement was alerted as soon as the church learned of the illegal activity. They add, quote, "We remain dedicated to providing a safe worship environment and will be ever vigilant in protecting all persons involved in any of our events."
Deputies say Mayfield likely acted alone, and the church leadership was unaware of his alleged activities. Yucky.
Gross.
What's wrong with that guy, Cubby?
I don't know. I mean, we've got a couple guys in a row that got some issues here. This, a 26-year-old former Walt Disney World employee fired in April for allegedly taking upskirt videos of female guests, was arrested again last week for allegedly committing the same crime. this time at a local grocery store. Deputies spoke with a woman who said she was in the bakery section when she noticed a man wearing a baggy gray shirt follow her and her husband. She said the man suddenly passed behind her and knelt to the side with his phone in his hand, and she suspected he was taking photos of her. The victim told her husband, and the husband began to follow the man, later identified as Jorge Diaz-Vega Jr., and he wanted to see what he was up to. Diaz-Vega then got into the checkout line where he was behind another woman. The victim watched him take his phone, move it underneath the woman's dress, telling deputies she believed he was taking upskirt video. The woman yelled at the man to stop, which allegedly caused him to leave the store. However, the victim's husband was able to catch up with the pervert and take his phone. Diaz-Vega said to the husband, "I've been fired for this before. Please don't call the police. I promise I will delete the pictures." The husband said he opened the phone and observed a video depicting his wife's underpants.
A deputy wrote, quote, Diaz said taking videos was a guilty pleasure for him, as Diaz showed deputies multiple images on his phone.
Diaz-Vega previously worked in the Disney Hollywood Studios Star Wars retail store until he was fired after a park guest witnessed him recording beneath a woman's skirt without her consent.
He worked at the Star Wars retail store.
And he blew that gig.
Dude,
that's a dream gig.
When questioned about the incident by investigators, he allegedly admitted to having over 500 upskirt videos of random women that he recorded at the theme park. Additionally, he said he took the videos because it was hard to find them online. What?
Okay.
Yeah, there's a porn shortage these days for sure. You can't find many good videos on there.
And he admitted they do bring him sexual gratification. The phone he allegedly used to film the women was actually owned by his father, who had consented to a search of his device. Police don't believe the dad knew what was on his phone.
That is one interesting dude right there.
A Florida man was arrested Wednesday after threatening to kill his family and their dog during what police described as an adult temper tantrum.
Oh, those are my favorite. You know that, Josh.
Oh, yeah, we see a lot of them nowadays. Deputies responded to a home Tuesday shortly after 11:30 p.m. following reports of a family disturbance. Upon arrival, police learned 30-year-old Tristan Green had been asking to take his family member's car to the store. And when she refused, he threatened to kill the dog.
Oh!
Green then pointed a knife at the family member who was sitting in the vehicle and threatened to slice everyone up while demanding the keys. He eventually stabbed 2 of the car's tires, causing the woman inside to drive off in fear. Deputies later found and arrested Green about 1:49 a.m. the next day.
Oh, my God.
Philadelphia police are searching for a man who allegedly broke into a home and stole more than $5,000 worth of personal property and then apologized on social media. Security video shows a suspect taking 2 designer purses filled with cash and credit cards within seconds.
Judging by the fact that I was only gone for 6 minutes and how quickly he came into my house after I left, he had probably been looking into my window prior to the event, and he knew exactly what he was coming in for.
After the homeowner posted the video of the break-in on Facebook, someone commented on the post claiming he was the criminal.
I think I was in shock. I was like, is this really him? Is he really confessing on a public forum?
The man posted several comments where he apologized, asked for forgiveness, and said he went into the wrong house, but did still grab some things on the way out.
While I'm here, I might as well just grab some.
I mean, I went through the trouble. Police say the same person may have broken into other homes in the area. When it comes to getting it on, humping, I mean.
Here we go.
Some states are busier at getting busy than others. According to a new survey, Minnesota can count itself as among the horniest when it comes to overall frequency of having sex.
Good for us.
Yeah, we did it, you guys.
Landing in 11th place.
I had no part in it.
Landing in 11th place, Minnesota's respondents reported having sex on average of 1.341 times a week, or just shy of 70 times a year. In comparison, the top-ranking state, anybody want to guess?
Well,
Vegas?
you know, yeah.
Or Nevada, I suppose.
You would think it would be California, Nevada, Texas, or New York.
Florida?
I was going to be something
I didn't
weird
think
like
about
Idaho.
Florida. I like those guesses.
Oh,
What do you got, Cubby?
Ohio. Final guess.
Wapple, what do you got?
California.
Alaska.
Darn it.
Oh, they got nothing else to do up there.
That's true. Don't they have like 30 days a night or something like that too?
That's very surprising.
Alaska, they tallied an average frequency of 2.806 times every week, or about 146 times per year. That's a lot of intercourse.
Ship them some Pedialyte.
Doing it in the bush.
Well, not with today's grooming styles. The next states in line with high smash frequencies were New Mexico, Vermont, Arkansas, and Indiana. The state that showed the lowest frequency of sexual conquest on a weekly basis was Colorado. Maine and Michigan rounded out the top 3 least sexually active states, according to the survey. Minnesota's neighboring states ranked mostly above average. Let's see. The average, by the way, is 1.064 for weekly frequency. Iowa ranked 15th, South Dakota 19th, North Dakota 23rd. Wisconsin, on the other hand, was the 7th least sexually active state.
They're too drunk.
As overall trends go, the survey found sex in the U.S. is on a decline. More than 1 in 4 Americans reported having no sex at all. And about 2 in 5 Americans say they have sex at least once per week, which represents a 12% decline in the last 2 decades.
What's going on?
That went in a direction I didn't think it was going to go, Cubby, some of those answers.
Yeah, it surprised me as well. But I guess like Dana was saying, some of these places, they mentioned places with long winters for the most part, had higher sex rates.
Yeah, I should have thought of that, but I did not. And I think I have a theory on Wisconsin and their low sex rate. I mean, they're too busy hammering away at their own hand anytime the Packers are on television. You don't want to pair up with anybody. You're exhausted.
New music this week includes Finger 11 with their greatest hits. Finger 11's greatest hits spans 2.5 decades as a band and includes hits from 5 of their 6 albums. 6 years since the release of their hit LP Villains, Queens of the Stone Age returned this week with their 8th album in Times New Roman. Finally this week, Rebuilding the Mountain, the 4th album from Atlanta-based hard rockers Royal Thunder. For the best new music of the week, take a look at the popular notable new releases post each Friday on 93x.com and the accompanying playlist each week on Spotify. A few things open in theaters this week, including The Flash. Worlds collide when the Flash uses his superpowers to travel back in time to change the events of the past. However, when his attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, he becomes trapped in a reality that threatens annihilation. Also in theaters, Wes Anderson's Asteroid City. In Asteroid City, already the site of an asteroid that hit hundreds of years prior, the itinerary of a junior stargazer convention is disrupted by world-changing events. Asteroid City has a huge cast, including Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Edward Norton, Adrian Brody, Liev Schreiber, Steve Carell, Matt Dillon, Willem Dafoe, Margot Robbie, and Jeff Goldblum.
I think I saw an ad for this movie. It appears to have been shot in some kind of a wacky comic book style.
It seems that way, yeah.
It looks interesting.
Whether it be toys, fish, cars, bugs, or human emotions, Pixar has animated it, and often to heart-wrenching effect. Next up, Elements, an unlikely love story out of the 4 earthly elements: water, fire, land, und air. Chris Hemsworth Hubba Hubba returns today as Tyler Rake in Extraction 2, the sequel to Netflix's 2020 blockbuster action film Extraction. After barely surviving the events of the first movie, the Australian Black Ops mercenary is tasked with another deadly mission, this time rescuing the battered family of a ruthless gangster. Do you guys watch the first Extraction?
No.
No? Was it good?
Yep.
Yeah, if you like action, there's a scene, like a fight on a bridge, if I remember right.
Yep.
I think it's 3 hours long.
Totally.
Just nonstop. And I had read that in Extraction 2, they have like a 21-minute nonstop action scene. I can't think of another scene like that, Wapple.
Peter and the chicken.
Yeah.
If they can put together a better fight than Peter and the chicken, I'd be impressed.
The most emotional part of that long-standing fight, years Peter and the chicken haven't got along. Remember when they made up and they went to dinner?
That was great.
Wasn't that touching? I thought finally they see eye to eye, and then what it was, they argue over the bill?
Yeah, who got to pay the bill?
And then it started up all over again.
My favorite thing about Peter and the chicken and the brawls that they've had is when the brawls are over, Peter has always somehow blown the back of his pants out.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the back of his pants are always blown smooth out by the time, and you can see his drawers.
Hey, whatever happened to the angry monkey that would point at Chris?
Oh, yeah.
They used to do that
point.
quite a bit.
I don't know. He did have a family for a while. Do you remember that?
Oh.
Yeah, he had like a kid. Maybe he moved out.
He might have. He just started to relax.
Quagmire might have molested it.
Yeah.
That's possible. By the way, just for anybody who is still watching Platonic, if you want to know if they've kept the bit alive where Seth Rogen destroys those little scooters. In every episode, he's still doing that.
I was worried that he wasn't going to, and when he did, I was like, there it is, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad they're keeping that up. Sunday on AMC, the series premiere of The Walking Dead, Dead City. In the new Walking Dead spinoff starring Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Maggie and Negan track her son's kidnapper to Manhattan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan said in an interview while promoting the new spinoff that he's one of the only dads, I think, whose kid thinks he's cool. His son has a picture of him as Negan from The Walking Dead in his bedroom.
Oh, cool.
Then tomorrow on Starz, the Season 7 premiere of Outlander, and Sunday on Max, the Season 3 debut of The Righteous Gemstones. Paul McCartney, one of only 2 surviving Beatles, 81
What?
Sunday.
Dang.
Will Forte, 53 tomorrow. You know, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but WWE Hall of Famer The Ultimate Warrior has passed away.
Oh, no.
About 9 years ago. And today would have been his 64th birthday. Happy 10th anniversary to Sass Master Jesus and Hall in Your Wood Jesus. Listener named Rick texted in to wish a happy anniversary message to his beautiful wife, Vicky. Best of luck to Grandma's Marathon Jesus, who will be podcasting the show while running on Sunday. Shout out to Dakota County Mosquito Control for doing their best to keep us itch-free this summer. Army Mechanic Jesus and the gang are about to tear it up for its bachelor party. Trap shooting, drinks, downtown, and watching the local ball club at Target Field.
Fun.
Yeah, definitely. Have fun. And for God's sake, come back in one piece. Happy birthday to Little Sisterhood member Winora. I'm sorry. It says Winora. Turning the big 03 today from Printing Jesus. Happy 22nd to Nolan's Jesus, going out for some drinks with friends and watching the Twins game. Happy birthday to Deadhead Jesus. He's been in the VA hospital for 6 weeks, guys. But he said they saved his leg from being chopped off, and he's just grateful to be here. We're grateful too, brother.
Yeah, get well soon.
Happy birthday to a woman who gave us one of the greatest guys a guy could ever know. Dana's mom, Mrs. Wessel. She's got a birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Shout out to the 36 teams teeing off today for the 12th annual Grand Ole Golf Classic at Dakota Ridge. Good luck to everyone from the Rod. And local sex symbols Rock Gods taking the stage at Birdie Fest 2023 at Birdie Golf in Woodbury tonight. It's an all-ages parking lot party packed with 2 days of games and live music. Rock Gods tonight and then Boogie Wonderland tomorrow. And that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
What an asshole. I've never heard you say that, buddy. I've never needed to say it before. And this time, it needed to be said. It's like your mouth works. You can stop testing it.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All fathers essentially dress in the clothing style of the last good year of their lives. Whatever a man was wearing around the time he got married, he freezes that moment in fashion history and rides it out to the end. You see fathers on the street, 05, 91, 83.
So we were playing in our new house in the pool, and I pulled the pool basketball hoop down onto my face after dunking on a 3-year-old to, kind of teach him an early lesson in life that, when you're in the paint, you cannot be caught unawares underneath the rim. And did that end up with me with the black eye? Yes. So it was fun. My wife has been making fun of me about it, as has pretty much everybody here. So it's been a good past, 5 days or whatever it's been.
We're all set to check in with Randy Shaver live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hopefully we can hear Randy over the hustle and bustle of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Randy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Well, that's just great. How's it going there in Sodak?
Chicago has nothing on Sioux Falls.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Windy City. Sioux Falls is the Windy City. If you've ever been here before, it doesn't matter what time of year you're here, it is nothing but wind all the time.
Is that right?
So,
I can't say if I've ever been through that town.
I used to go every summer. The last time I was there, we got bed bugs, and that's kind of how I think of Sioux Falls.
Did you hear that, Randy? Cubby picked up a case of bed bugs.
that's what I heard. It's too windy for those, Josh. They blow them away.
So no trees to break the wind. It's just blowing like a bastard?
Yeah, it's just every time I've been here over the last year while my son has been doing his thing here, it's just every morning you wake up, you walk outside, and you feel like you're in a wind tunnel. So,
I hear you. All right. What are you staying at a hotel or something like that?
yeah, we are today, but he's packing up and moving out today, and we're driving to the beautiful city of Iowa City today.
Mm-hmm. If you weren't listening yesterday, Randy's on vacation now, the beginning of his vacation. He's driven to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to help his son move. And your son will soon be an Iowegian citizen. And as we discussed yesterday, man, when you need to move televisions and couches, first call you make is your broken down old man.
That's right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like the last thing he wants to do.
I hear you. Well, we're happy to hear from you, and happy that you're on vacation.
Yeah.
Father's Day on Sunday. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Coming up on Sunday. They better be doing something nice for you after you went all the way to South. Again, you go to Iowa, and you this and that.
Well, he's becoming a doctor. That's pretty good. I bet Randy's pretty satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not crying about it. Trust me. He's not quite making the what I would call the doctor salary yet, but that's coming. And so I told Roseanne, I just want to live long enough for him to buy me a doctor salary dinner. That's all I want to do. If I could just live long enough, 3 more years, if I could just do that, that'd be awesome.
Oh, he'll get there.
Maybe run you through Murray's, or how do you call it, Ruth Chris, or something like that.
You know what? I should start making a nice list of the places I'd like him to take me.
Yeah,
once,
put the Butcher's Tail on there. That place is expensive and really good.
I've not heard of it.
There you go.
Oh, so good, Josh. They're all about their meat. Such good meat.
I'll tell you what, Randy, it's going to benefit you in the long run to have a doctor's son. We here at the radio station, we could have benefited had he become a psychiatrist. I think.
Yeah, we need one.
We could use something like that
I
around here.
think we all could use that mental health help once in a while, right?
I was at a fast food restaurant yesterday, and they had a little flyer they were looking for employees, and they had like a nice little display, and on there it was free mental health services. I'd never seen that before.
That is really cool.
That's a big perk.
Here's all the things you get for working here. You know, free meals, and then they put free mental health service. I'd never heard of that.
No.
Do we need that? Definitely. Do we get that? Heck no.
Sioux Falls, is that where the South Dakota State Jackrabbits play, or is that Rapid City? Where is that?
I'm not really quite sure.
Maybe Rapid City isn't even a town in South Dakota.
I know Sioux Falls has their own college here, but I think South Dakota and South Dakota State are in different cities.
Where does South Dakota State University take place? Somebody help me out with that.
Is it in Vermilion? I'm guessing.
They won the Division II. Brookings. That's it.
Brookings,
That's it.
there you go.
Did you pass through Brookings? Do you know where that is, Randy?
I don't know where that is, and no, we did not pass through that.
I know a gal who went to South Dakota State University. She still talks about it. It's annoying. She drove her ass all the way down to Texas to watch them in that Division II football championship game this year. Drove to friggin' Texas to see that ball game.
That's 14 hours, 15 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since I Googled,
I'm sure they had a lot of fans do that. That's a big deal for them.
Yeah. She wasn't that'd be embarrassing if she was the only one that went down. Embarrassing for that school.
Since I Googled South Dakota State, I found a fun fact I didn't know. They play their football games at a stadium called Dana J. Dickhouse Stadium.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to start calling you Dickhouse.
Hey, Dickhouse.
Yes, sir?
What's the story behind Dana J. Dickhouse?
I'm looking that up right now. Looks like I'm guessing you're some type of donor, or she was. I guess it was probably a she.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to come up with the notable citizens of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, specifically Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm sure there's plenty of.
I only saw a very small part of it. We go there every year for my daughter's softball tournament, and it was huge. This tournament, people came from all over the country. It's a really big tournament.
Randy Shea, you had a good time?
No,
you did not have a good time.
The softball tournament was okay, but what surrounded it wasn't all that great.
Okay, just off the top of my head, I believe that Kirk Heinrich, former NBA point guard Kirk Heinrich, came from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I gained that knowledge from watching a lot of the National Basketball Association. God dang it. Oh, one more that I can think of. From Starsky and Hutch, David Soul.
No way.
I believe came from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. When Dana is done looking up Dana J. Dickhouse, he can confirm or deny that David Soul from the original Starsky and Hutch television program was from Sioux Falls.
Soul was,
and then you better have Josh play David Soul's music hit.
We'll get in trouble for that.
We can't get in trouble for that.
We might, but I remember the song. What was it called, Randy? It was called "Let Her In." I'm gonna let you in, or what the hell?
Don't give up on us. Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, don't give up on us.
Yeah.
Let Her In maybe was John Travolta, but anyway, yeah, David Soul. Don't give up on us, baby.
Yep, that's it.
We've got a ways to go.
January Jones was also from Sioux Falls.
I don't know what it means to be January Jones.
Is that right? She's an actress that was in Mad Men and X-Men and a bunch of other movies.
2.5 Men?
No, she's really pretty.
Well, there you go, Randy.
No, she's really... What does that have to do with?
What does that have to do with?
No, she wasn't in that. She's really pretty.
So Dana Dickhouse is a banker, and he teamed up with T. Denny Sanford, and they threw in $12.5 million for the stadium back in October 2013.
And we got to straighten you out. I got to straighten you out here with help. The gal that I know, Josh, from who went to school in Brookings at South Dakota State, Stacy. You've met her before on the Booze Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Tall, blonde.
Yep.
Digs you.
Does she really?
Ooh,
she is one spicy number, I must say.
We can't. Well,
what's wrong with her?
That she likes you?
Yeah,
because you're cut. We can continue to call Dana Dickhouse if we want to, but the Stacy texted me. She knows these things. She's from Brookings. She knows Brookings and all things South Dakota. It's actually the character that did whatever you just said, Dana J.
Dickhouse?
It's actually Dykehouse.
Yeah, because it's spelled D-Y-K, so I wasn't sure, but either way.
You went with Dickhouse out of that?
Yeah. It was funnier to me.
A couple people text in, and I didn't know if they were being funny, but no.
It's Dykehouse.
Well, because
those are two completely different things.
I had a friend whose last name was D-Y-K, and it was pronounced Dick. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you say, Dickhouse.
Yeah, you're still Dickhouse.
I'll always be Dickhouse to you guys.
Dickhouse! Booze Cruise coming up in a couple of weeks. The whole top deck's going to be chanting Dickhouse.
Yeah. We got to get you a jersey that says Dickhouse on the back.
Oh, and remember, you can dress up like Dickhouse too and then get a free cupcake.
Oh, that's right. You're saying, for people who win tickets to the boat, you show up. It's Dana's birthday, our Booze Cruise this year.
Yep.
June 30th,
June 30th.
Friday. And, you dress like Dana, you get a free cupcake.
Wow, this has been fun so far. We got
a turn of events the last 12 minutes.
Shut up, Dickhouse.
We got a new way to torture Dana. Randy. Oh, real quick. I already wished you a happy Father's Day. I got that out of the way. I pretended like I cared there for a minute. In the intro. Perfect Father's Day, cute little story that Josh played the audio there. Tampa Bay Rays reliever Pete Fairbanks. Yeah. It's pretty funny. I can't say I'm familiar with the guy, but according to this story, when he's in the mix for the Rays, their bullpen is just even better.
He is good.
Pete Fairbanks.
He has a bit of a resemblance to Dana, almost. I'm sorry, Dickhouse.
Did he look a little bit like Captain Dickhouse?
Yeah, a little bit.
You're not a captain yet. We'll wait for you. You got to earn that. But, the guy was... Funny story. He shows up. He's been hurt, but he's ready to pitch again for the Rays. He shows up in the clubhouse. He's had, time at home being injured. He's got a black eye. And the story he told, he told it very well. Maybe you can play it again, Josh, if you feel like it. If you don't,
I was going to ask if you'd want me to.
If you feel like it, go right ahead. He received the injury playing basketball in a pool with his 3-year-old son. His 3-year-old son lit him up in the eye, and he's got to come into the clubhouse with a black eye.
So we were playing in our new house in the pool, and I pulled the pool basketball hoop down onto my face after dunking on a 3-year-old to, kind of teach him an early lesson in life that, when you're in the paint, you cannot be caught unawares underneath the rim. And did that end up with me with the black eye? Yes. So It was fun. My wife has been making fun of me about it, as has pretty much everybody here. So it's been a good past, like 5 days or whatever it's been.
That's great.
But he did dunk on the kid.
I didn't catch that the first time that the kid's only 3.
Yeah. My wife's been making fun of me, he says, as has pretty much everybody here as he's standing in the Rays locker room. That's great. I picture his 3-year-old kid just, standing in the way of the basketball hoop, and Dad thinks, I got to teach him a lesson. You cannot just be unaware in the lane. And he dunks on him.
That his black eye is up on 93x.com.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's a decent shiner.
Seems like a funny guy.
If you're going to live in the paint, you got to own it. That's just all there is to it.
That's right, Randy Shaver. Did you see much of the Denver Nuggets celebration parade in Denver yesterday, Randy?
I did not, but I'm assuming that as soon as it was over, Jokic was on a flight to Serbia.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
He said he liked it.
Yeah, he said he was having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, he cursed up and down. That's the new thing at these championship parades. Everybody curses up and down.
Well,
Okay. Thank you, though. You know that I told that I don't want to stay on parade, but I want to stay on parade. This is the best. Yeah, this is amazing. This is. We're all gonna remember this our whole lives, and when we see you guys that came out on the streets, and actually this one is for you. We love you, Denver. This one is for you. Thank you, guys.
He had to drop the F-bomb. The coach was swearing. Everybody was swearing.
It seems like the booze flows a lot more freely these days. It seems like they just turn into one big just drunken fest on these parades nowadays.
Yeah.
I like how he had to shush him. Okay.
He wants nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Shut up! I'm trying to talk.
There was chug-a-lugging. Is there a new word for it these days? There was chug-a-lugging going on.
Chugging a beer, shotgunning a beer.
Shotgunning, okay. One of my favorite moments was Kentavious Caldwell Pope jumps off his parade vehicle and chugged with a fan. I thought was really nice. He gave the fan a hug. Mm-hmm. Just folks lining the sidewalks. It was a crazy scene, Randy Shaver.
Well, was it anything close to Twins 1987, Twins 1991?
I don't think I've still to this day ever seen anything quite like that.
I don't think I have never seen a parade anything like what the Twins and Minnesota put on for those 2 World Series championships.
I'm so jealous.
Now, obviously, we're biased, Randy, because we were there in person.
Oh, but I'm just telling you, if you go back and look at the pictures, look at the video of those 2 parades, especially the first one, it's mind-blowing how many people were in the streets and lining the parade route. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. But the cursing always, the biggest pop of the entire... they do the parade, and then they all gather around a podium, the players and the coaches, and they all have something or another to say. Josh just played the audio of Jokic. The biggest pop all day was when Jokic dumped the F-bomb on him. People just love that. They love to hear the curse words live on a microphone. I kind of wish we could curse up and down.
That would be nice.
It's kind of, it doesn't bother me, but still, wouldn't it be kind of fun once in a while, Josh, just be able to dump something filthy?
It can take some of the power out of things.
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
What if they gave us like 3 to 5 F-bombs a year or something? We each got to kind of, use them at our discretion when we felt like we really needed to emphasize something.
That'd be fun.
I'd use them all in like one sentence.
Actually, he's out in one segment.
How long would you last, Dickhouse?
I think I... You know what, Josh? Believe you! All right, there's one down.
But the cheap pop through using curse words, it's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Go to a rock concert.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you see people introducing bands, if nothing's happening, they throw out an F word, and then they throw out an F word louder, and you got the crowd.
There's an instant pop. We are sheeple, aren't we?
You guys told me before I did my first stage announcement, you're like, all right, if it goes south, there's a few things you can do. Either say the F word, say like F yeah or something like that, or something about America and the troops rocking. Those are the 2 easiest pops.
Well, I think we had said also something about drinking.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Getting drunk or something.
Yep, tell everyone, go grab a beer.
Yeah, who's getting wasted out there tonight?
Yep.
One of the greatest on-stage, announcing stories. You're presenting a band, you're introducing a band, that kind of a thing. In the radio business, you we did a lot of that for a stretch of time, Josh, and now we're too old to go to concerts. But that was,
we look like Ozzy being wheeled out on stage.
Yeah, if you get into radio, there'll be a stretch of your career where you'll be showing up at every effing concert and introducing the band. It's part of the gig. But my favorite story ever, related to how you can get a cheap pop through foul language, was a dude who used to work here. This was a wrestling show. Jumps into the ring and he says, "How many people out there like peanut butter?"
Love it.
And it was absolutely dead silent. The dude, people are looking at each other. Did this friggin' guy just enter a WWF ring and ask us if and he stands there. He just soaks up the dead silence. And he says, "Maybe you didn't hear me. How many people out there like to eat mother effing peanut butter?" And the crowd went, "Wow!"
Is it funny how that works?
I mean, that was brilliant.
Love that.
We've told this story before, but my favorite and I despise doing these things for many reasons, nerves being a big part of it, but the Edge Fest or X Fest, one of the two, 30,000 people out there just ready to rock. And here comes a band. Our job is to introduce them.
And they were a hit band at the time.
Huge.
Yeah.
They had a really big single at the time.
Yeah.
And we go up there, and Nick's like, "All right, everybody's all crazy. Please welcome to the stage." And then he turns to me, "Who's the band?" He forgot the name of the band.
In the middle of all that nonsense, hyping people up, I legitimately forgot who it was that was standing behind us.
At the very last second. Sum 41, by the way, is who it was.
If you wouldn't have had the answer, I have no idea where I would have gone with that. Because I said, "Here they are." What's the name of the band again? And Josh dumped it on me. Good for you. Thank you for that.
The worst thing about those stage announcements is there's a soft intro and a hard intro. And a hard intro is when you're like, "And here they are, Sum 41." And then they kick right in. And then a soft intro is when you got to be like, "All right, who's ready to rock? Are we having fun tonight? Sum 41, they'll be up here in about 10 to 15 minutes."
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's the worst.
And then because they're all fired up, and then you're like, and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "See ya. Have fun tonight."
The other thing is everybody's always in a bad mood. Everybody's always really mad at you for whatever reason.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff sucks. And I hate to even say this. I mean, amongst all the great times they were having in Denver, there was something terrible happened during their parade, Randy. I don't know if you caught this or not, but
there was a shooting, wasn't there?
Oh, that I didn't hear about.
Yeah,
and they clinched.
Pardon me?
When they won the title, there was a couple shootings in downtown Denver.
Oh, there
during
was at the
celebration.
parade.
The parade too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they got the person.
Josh mentioned that some folks chose to celebrate on the night of by shooting each other. Josh mentioned that. But at the parade, I didn't know that. Some people shot at each other. Well, big surprise. But a cop got run over by a damn fire truck.
Yeah.
And they say he may lose a leg.
Oh boy.
It's terrible.
Horrible
Poor
thing.
guy.
Oh, wow, man. But yeah, 87 and 91, Randy Shaver, you were there.
I was there.
An ocean of humanity.
It was amazing. I just, CARE is celebrating their 70th anniversary this year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my jobs is to kind of go through the archives a little bit and find some stuff that we can use for some stories that we're running in September. And one of those is I was going through the parade stuff. And it is absolutely insane how many people filled downtown Minneapolis on a November day or late October day for those parades, especially 87. It was a sea of people. It's amazing that the cars got through the crowd. It's amazing that there was enough security to pull it off without some sort of crazy incident, because it was, it was just amazing. Nothing but a sea of people. It was just crazy.
Yeah, we skipped school. We skipped school to go down there in 87.
What team will bring it to us next, do you think? Which parade? Who's going to be having a parade?
The Lynx.
Well, yeah, the Lynx would be a good answer.
Yeah, good question, Cubby. Oh, and you guys know the story. I tried to hit Randy Shaver with a roll of toilet paper, and I missed, and I hit his cohort. I hit your co-host, how do you call it, Diana Pierce?
Legend.
Yes, you did.
So will we see any Diana Pierce or any Paul Majors in some of these clips you'll be looking for?
Actually, I'm flying out to California to interview Majors for the story.
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Dude, now maybe when you're going through this footage, maybe you can find the actual video footage of that toilet paper that I threw hitting Diana Pierce.
I do have us, Diana and I, talking during that time, and I don't know if there's a reference to being hit by toilet paper, but I know there's plenty of conversation.
Yeah.
Between Diana and I during that parade.
Look for that. That would be historic because they were. You guys were live on television.
We were. I forget exactly the location of where we were set up, but we were up higher than the crowd, and you weren't the only one throwing toilet paper. Everybody was throwing.
No, but I threw mine from a great distance, and I clipped her.
And yours
square.
was used, was it not?
It was used, yeah.
Tight spiral?
True story. I mean, it's a true story. I said to my buddy, who was that, Randy Shaver? I don't like that douche. And I threw, then I missed, and I hit the... All right. You probably haven't heard about this. Josh, I'm sure you're aware of it, and maybe a couple others here. Do we even want to get into this, what Carl Anthony Towns said on Pat Beverly's podcast? This is so ridiculous. Randy,
I was hoping that maybe someone could explain it.
Yeah, me too.
A little better.
See, lost track.
That's the thing. It is tough to follow what he's saying. Randy Shaver.
I have a clip.
I hope this was out of context, or I hope somehow we're all wrong here.
I don't think we are, and I don't think he said it out of context.
Okay. Do you have the audio, Josh? And then I can explain because it is kind of hard to follow.
Yeah.
It was more special what we did in Minnesota because we had, like a month, and then we had training camp, and it was like, you better figure it all out right now. Yeah. And we really figured it out quick. Yeah. Think about it. They had what? Jokic been in the league
4 years.
If you think about it, 4 years, we got it done in 4 months.
Okay. Here's the deal. What a lot of people are assuming, and Randy, you're saying you don't think it was taken out of context. Carl said on, how do you call it, Pat Beverly's podcast, that when the Wolves beat the Clippers in the play-in game a couple of years ago, where they all started crying and everyone made fun of how they... Right. Everyone was making fun of the Wolves for over-exaggerating their victory in this play-in game. What he said, it sounds like, that was more of a special accomplishment than the Nuggets just winning the effing NBA championship.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to his comment about changing the game as a shooter.
He has changed the game as a shooter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
That's the comment I was referring to when I said what I said. Okay. So this is different than that.
All right.
But I mean, if that's what he's saying, if he's saying that accomplishment of winning the play-in game was bigger than the Denver Nuggets winning the NBA championship, that's totally delusional.
Yeah. That's why I'm really hopeful that he really didn't mean. He said it was more special is the word that he used. And he said, we got that win after only preparing for 4 months. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. And it took the Nuggets 4 years to win a championship. It all sounds very weird. I don't know what is happening. I don't understand. But and Pat Beverly seemed like he was agreeing, but also he seemed like he was just being nice. I can't figure it out. A lot of three-point shooters changed the game of basketball. It wasn't just Carl. Referring to what you thought we were talking about.
Well, Carl was talking about changing the game. I assume he was talking about changing the game as a big man. Shooting the basketball. Right.
Oh, what do you mean?
Which I disagree with, but that's fine.
It's all kind of exhausting, and I got a headache. Just to please.
And it may not be. And you know what? Who knows? It may not be an issue for Wolves fans a month from now.
Well, that's true too. Please, Carl. Please, I hope you meant something completely different because what you're saying is silly.
I mean, we should kind of keep our ear to the ground here over the next week because the NBA draft is next Thursday, I believe. And, if the Wolves are trying to figure out a way to accumulate some draft choices via a trade, And, Carl, it's been speculation that Carl might be part of something like that. If that's the case, it'll probably happen within the next week. Now, there hasn't been a lot of, credence given to that yet, where people are saying something is close or the team's talking or whatever. But obviously it would make sense if the Wolves are looking to get some picks back that they gave up when they traded for Gobert.
Right.
A trade would happen in the next week.
Listeners texted in that says on that Pat Beverly podcast, Karl Anthony Towns also said that if he was calling the plays, he would drop 40 points every game.
Well, they should let him start calling them.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to get out of here now.
Yeah.
By making stupid comments.
This text says, if the Wolves are on TV, I change the game as well.
Oh!
That is from Blood Fart Jesus.
Oh! What the hell is happening? Another listener has texted in to say that Carl's level of obliviousness is off-putting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Speaking of NBA big men, Shaquille O'Neal walked into Home Depot and he bought complete strangers a washer and dryer.
He does this kind of stuff. He seems like a good guy. I've got audio of it. You can hear the family's very excited. It is a little tough to understand what's going on, though.
Nice to meet you. We are buying a washer and dryer.
Okay, I'm from
Venezuela.
Really?
Oh my God, from Venezuela. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you. Okay.
Shaq walked into Home Depot. He saw a couple ladies looking at the washers and dryers, and he said, you know what? It's on me.
Oh, I'd get the best one.
That's
Top of
good.
the line.
Oh, we were just looking at this one. We wanted the washer dryer X9000 over there. That's when we really came to get.
That's what the big Aristotle did, Randy Shaver. He was walking around Home Depot filming a music video for his new song. Randy.
Okay.
I'm excited to see how Home Depot plays into that.
When I think Shaq rapping, I think Home Depot.
The song is called I Know I Got It. Oh, I remember, Josh, I was trying to talk Wapple out of the idea that he had gonorrhea, and he looked at me and he said, I know I got it.
Oh, I had gonorrhea.
Yeah.
I hope he wears one of those little Home Depot aprons in
He
the
does
video.
wear a Home Depot apron.
Yes. How do they have
It
one
looks
that's
like a
big enough?
napkin on him.
Little baby bib.
Get it extra large.
Twins didn't have a very good start to their series against the Tigers last night, Randy. I don't know if you were watching all. Did they get Twins games in Sioux Falls?
They do. I actually saw a little bit of it last night. We were having dinner. So, yeah, I mean, the Tigers have been struggling terribly lately, so that's a big win for them. Sonny Gray, I just didn't really have it yesterday.
No, he didn't.
From what I saw. And I know he was frustrated to be pulled when he was, but, it just seemed like that was kind of the right play at that moment just because he wasn't as effective as he'd like to be. But, yeah, I mean, this division is so bad. I was just looking at it again this morning. It is so bad. I mean, the Cleveland Guardians are, I believe, 6 games under 500, and they're in second place. I mean, the Twins, all they got to do is breathe. If they can just breathe, they're going to make the playoffs because the division is so bad.
It is right now. They started off hot last night. Donovan Solano, boy, I've liked watching this guy hit this year.
He's a good hitter.
He is. I think they call him Donnie Barrels because he always barrels up the baseball. He hit a 3-run home run. They were up 4-1, hit a dong. But then they went 2 for 23 as a lineup after Solano's home run, which I believe was in the 3rd inning. Buxton was back. Joe Ryan's going to pitch tonight.
Yeah.
So that...
And by the way, when the Twins get a 4-1 lead with Sonny Gray on the mound, that's a pretty good bet you're going to win that game. Or any of these starting pitchers, just because they've been so good. So last night's more of an anomaly than anything else, I think, just because of the way the Twins have been pitching as of late. So we'll give Detroit this one to last night, but I think the Twins are going to be fine. Like I said, all they got to do is just survive. They just have to breathe and just play. And 500 baseball is probably going to be good enough to win the division. It really is.
And a lot of the crowd, they say here, stuck around after the game to watch T-Pain in concert, Randy.
Well, my wife was one of them. She went to the game, said he was awesome.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun.
How was the air quality at the game last night?
Much better.
Yeah.
Good.
Much better. And I got to find this text message. Speaking of Twins pitching, Brad, how do you call it? Ryder.
Oh, I saw that too. It's amazing stat.
And
Let me pull it up.
I got it here, Summers. You go ahead, Ray.
Well, the stat is it ranks each team. When was the last time a pitcher on the staff threw 9 innings?
How many days? How many
days?
Is it
right.
days or games? Days. How
I
many
think it's
days?
days.
Yes. Go right ahead.
So the stat it lists all of the major league teams and the last time a pitcher on their staff threw 9 innings.
Right.
And like Texas, for example, on the list, just 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
A pitcher threw 9 innings.
Yeah.
So let the listeners guess how bad the Twins rank in this one, because it's amazing, the number.
It's hilarious. Some other examples, the Chicago Cubs 11 days ago, a pitcher threw 9 innings. The Houston Astros 19 days ago, Toronto 28, Kansas City 31. The Twins
and
are
I don't think, Nick, this is an example of how bad Twins pitching has been. I think it's an example of the philosophy that the Twins have as a franchise when they approach their pitching staff.
Absolutely.
I think it's more of that than it is, well, pitching's been terrible, and this is why that number is what it is. But that's not the case.
The Twins are in dead last on this list of all big league teams. It has been 1,000. Well, this is, this effing stat is 2 or 3 days old. But when this stat was put up online, and I got to mention a listener, I don't remember their name, a listener actually sent to this to me even before Brad Ryder did. It has been 1,828 Twins pitcher through 9 innings in a ball game.
Now think about that. That is 5 years.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
you tell me.
It would be interesting to find out, and maybe Dustin Morse from the Twins, who's their PR guy, he's a great guy and does a great job. Maybe they can, let us know when was the last Twins pitcher to throw 9 innings, or even throw a complete game. I have no idea who the last Twins pitcher was that did that.
Who would it? Maybe someone.
It'd be a good. You know what? This would be a really good stat for Dick Bramer next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
This would be good conversation for him, because I'm sure he knows.
Maybe someone like Irvin Santana, or was he longer than 5 years ago? I can't remember. I really. That's.
But that's amazing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that stat is. And again, I think it's indicative of how the Twins approach their pitching more than it is that the Twins didn't have someone capable of throwing, a 9-inning complete game or 9 innings.
I'm making a note. I'm making a note right now to bring that up to Dick.
Yeah.
Next week, the Tampa Bay Rays are the first team to 50 wins this season after they beat the Athletics last night. So there you go. They're up to 50 wins.
Are they the fastest to 50?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I couldn't tell you. Fastest to 50, they very well could be. You're probably just your flies going up and down like a window shade wanting to talk about this golf tournament. So
well,
go
yeah,
right ahead.
Guys, all I'll say is a couple of guys yesterday shot historic 62s at the U.S. Open. Ricky Fowler and Xander Schauffele both shot first-round 62s. In a U.S. Open, normally the golf course is set up so difficult that, depending on the golf course, the winning number for 4 days worth of golf is maybe -4, -5 under par. Well, those two guys already in day one are 8 under par. And so, and there's a few other guys at 7 under. So the course is not playing as difficult as some thought it might, which will make for, I think, an interesting 4 days. But this is the U.S. Open. This is like, other than the Masters, this is probably the biggest golf event of the year for all the players around the world. So it's going to be a fun. I always love watching. I won't be able to do it on this Father's Day because I'm driving, but I always used to love to just say, okay, give me the afternoon on Father's Day so I can sit down and watch the final 9 holes of the U.S. Open because it's always, dramatic in one way or another. So.
Hey, Randy Shaver, I'm not trying to spoil the fun of Dick Bramer's visit next week, but a listener has answered the question, who was the last Twins pitcher to go 9 skis?
Good.
And it's one we probably all should have thought of. Jose Barrios.
Jose Barrios.
Back when Paul Molitor was the manager. Thank you, listener.
Yeah. Who, by the way, Jose Barrios, who got off to just a terrible start this year at Toronto. I just saw the other day he almost had a no-hitter the other day.
Did he?
And his pitching lights out right now.
Good for him.
For the Blue Jays.
Good for him. He seems like a nice kid. Yep. I couldn't give one rat's ass one way or the other about this golf tournament. I'm happy you're enjoying it, but I did find something that I can find interest in connected to this 2000 plus 23 U.S. Open at the Los Angeles Country Club, they call it, Randy.
That's correct.
5 celebrity homes that you can see from the golf course.
I was wondering if you were going to bring this up.
You see what I'm saying to you? If you're on the golf course swinging a club, you can see these celebrities' homes.
So you're saying the homes are on the course?
They're pretty much right on it.
Okay, good.
And I got a couple people here. Well, let's see. One is one of my all-time favorites. Lionel Richie.
Oh, he's awesome.
Oh.
Legendary singer of the Commodores. Saw him in concert a few years ago. Tears in my eyes. I mean, one of the greatest performers of all time, Lionel Richie. Yep. He's got a house right on the stupid golf course. They say it's on hole number 4, if that matters to you one way or the other. The Playboy Mansion is right on the stinking.
Is it really?
Yep.
Is that even still a thing since What's His Nuts checked out?
Someone else bought it, and they're a member at the country club.
But is that the Sun? I thought the Sun doesn't own it.
I'm not sure. I can't remember who they said bought it.
Does the magazine still show up on newsstands? I have no idea.
I think it went to just online.
Just digital.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that something
I thought
for
it
so
went
many?
digital and then it went back to.
That sounds right.
For so many years, that was like, that was the thing. I want to go to the Playboy Mansion. Boy, what would it be like to live at the Playboy Mansion? I wish I was Hugh Hefner and living at the Playboy. It's just, those days are gone.
Looks like they renovated the hell out of the place, too.
Yeah, it looks Nick, awesome. Nick, are you old enough to remember that they used to do, it was a black and white show. You're probably not too old enough, but there was a black and white show on Saturday nights, and I want to say it started like at 11 o'clock, and it was a Hugh Hefner show. No. And it was a show in which Hefner, it was like walking around the mansion during a party. And I can remember I was probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years old, 8 years old, 7 years, whatever I was, 12, something like that, where if I stayed up late enough on a Saturday night, my mom let me stay up, and she got distracted.
Oh.
I would switch the channel over to watch, if she fell asleep or whatever, to watch it. And I can remember, because it had all the stars and celebrities, and the women were walking around in the bunny suits
God
and all
help
that
us
kind
all.
of stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that.
I think if Dana were to Google like Playboy Hugh Hefner show 1960, something like that, you'll probably see clips of this black and white show, because I remember distinctly, and it wasn't on every Saturday, but
That's great.
Oh yeah, I can see some pictures from it.
Can you?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's like the classic Playboy bunnies. That's nice.
Yeah. Yep. So when I think of that, what you were talking about, that's what I remember growing up is, and you're right. It was, a huge deal, obviously.
I had
60s, 70s.
I had never heard before the Playboy Mansion was so close to on the golf course.
No, I
did not know that either.
Did they say which specific hole the Playboy Mansion is associated to?
Oh.
4th hole.
The
no,
fourth?
the 4th. That's where Lionel's place is.
My bad. I misread something then.
Here's the deal. Yeah, that used to be just the spot. All the celebrities, all the rock stars, all the models, all the television, they'd all go there.
And it was, a lot of times it was the same guys.
Pauly Shore and
Scott
Vince
Baio.
Neil. Yeah, that's a good one. If you open up
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, back in the day when you opened up Playboy magazine, one of the first couple of pages, they would have the latest pictures from their latest party. And Josh is right. There was 4 or 5 celebrity dudes that were always there. They just probably had to broom them out of the place and say, "Give us a break." Pauly Shore, Vince Neil, Scott Baio, Corey Feldman.
Yeah, it seemed like they were always a part of that.
Hey, Wample.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the Playboy magazine and how it's not really a thing anymore. Just the other day, I was bored, and I went through my stack of I got a stack of nudie books about this high. You guys ever seen anything? I was going through my old Playboys. You know which one I fingered through?
Ooh, Tori Wilson?
No, but you're close.
Dang.
All right, I'm going again.
Sable.
Not Sable.
Ooh. China?
Not China. Good guesses.
Stacy Keibler?
Not Stacy Keibler.
Boy, who could it be?
I'm going to tell you.
Don't text in my mom. I can feel people picking up their phones, getting ready to text that in.
Is it okay if I tell you? Go ahead, Wapple.
Maurice.
Not Maurice.
Dude. I forgot Maurice was in Playboy.
Not even Christy Hemme.
Wow.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Candace Michelle.
I'm not familiar with Candace Michelle.
Yeah, she had the little wand and stuff, the magic wand.
You know what I'm talking about.
It looks like the Playboy Mansion is on hole 13.
Yeah.
No, someone says here it's between holes 6 and 9. I know it's between 1 and 3.
They call it the taint. I don't know what we're talking about. There's monkeys now at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah.
They've got a zoo there. You can hear monkeys screaming from the golf course, Randy.
Monkeys and birds.
Monkeys and birds?
Exotic birds.
Yeah, like
parrots and
cockatoos.
stuff.
You know who else has got a mansion on the golf course? Aaron Spelling. Well, he's dead now. The dude who created all the television shows, Aaron Spelling.
Big in the 90s there.
There's a house on the golf course that used to belong to Judy Garland.
Oh, wow.
And finally, the last on this list of celebrities who have a house on this silly golf course where they're hosting the U.S. Open. Sean Diddy Combs.
P. Diddy's place is gigantic.
I can imagine.
Not that those previous ones aren't.
All right, Randy, we're going to let you go. One more note. Like we mentioned a few days ago, the NFL cannot find any NFL teams to agree to be on Hard Knocks. Apparently, they called the Detroit Lions and asked them if they'd do it again, and the Lions said no.
I'd love to see the Lions on there again. Mm-hmm. That was good. That was a really good season.
Well, why doesn't the HBO just stop doing it then? I mean, if nobody wants to do it, what's the point?
Because it's a big moneymaker?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fans love it.
Yeah.
Fans seem to like it.
They probably have a deal with the NFL that says it'll be on for a certain number of years.
Why don't they follow Roger Goodell?
Boy, that'd be fun.
That'd be riveting.
Well, who knows? Maybe he's a sleazy sumbitch that's always at the local roadhouse starting fights or something. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't you want to see more Dan Campbell?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I really grew to like him after watching that season.
Well, you know, what's not to like? He's kind of a character. I hope his club goes 16-0 next season. I really do. Randy, bye, damn. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy all the moving. Say hi to your family for us. Happy Father's Day and all that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you
all
too.
right. There goes Randy Shaver. We'll be back here before you know it on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
CJ Ham for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. When I'm on the field, I can take anything. But at home with my family, we like everything to be comfortable. That's why I trust the pros at Standard. They've been keeping Minnesotans like me comfortable for over 90 years.
Is your cooling system making strange noises or not cooling properly? Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
God help us. Here we go. We're back. It's our Friday. Today, it's our Friday. And we have wonderful special guests in studio from Rick's Cabaret Gentlemen's Club. First off, we have a gentleman here to tell us about the Gentlemen's Club. Shane, are you tuned in? Shane, how are you?
What's up, brother?
There's our guy.
You know, Shane, you've been in here a couple times to tell us the this and the that going on at Rick's.
Correct. I got to say something quick, though, man. I grew up in Sioux Falls, and I was pretty pissed off when I was listening to the show.
You grew up in Sioux Falls?
What made you upset?
Yeah, what
No, I'm
pissed
just
you?
kidding.
Oh. Sioux Falls, that's where our guy Randy Shaver is spending a couple of days. Tell us something we don't know about Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
There ain't a whole lot going on there, dude.
Here's the thing. We also got a couple of ladies in studio, a couple of Rick's girls. Cherry Bomb and Ashley are here.
Hello, good morning.
Cherry Bomb, I remember you.
Sure.
I remember Cherry Bomb. And Ashley, to avoid confusion, can we call you Cashley because you rake in all the cash at Rick's Cabaret?
You're goddamn right.
All the three of them are here to tell us about a special event going on this evening. Rick's for Chicks, Shane. Rick's for Chicks. What's going on tonight?
So this is our second annual Rick's for Chicks. Basically what we do is staff and management. We get on stage. It's all in good fun, but the money that we raise goes to the Beloved Women's Shelter. And they help us out and we help them out. So it's just another way, like Toys for Tatas, of us giving back to the community.
There you go.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of that, and I hope you get enough credit for it. People do talk about it, and then you deserve it because you guys do way more than I think most places do.
We appreciate your guys' help, man. The reach that you guys still have is amazing. My phone will blow up the second I get out of here. Were you on the radio? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's for a good thing. So a long story short, if you guys remember the Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze bit.
Sure.
Saturday Night Live,
Yep. Classic.
I will be doing that.
You will be. Let me get a good look at you, Shane.
So who's playing the Chris Farley bit?
You are svelte. You are svelte.
I'm not Roadhouse.
So it's really interesting. So for one night, for lack of a better term, the regular staff gets up on stage and removes their clothing. The professionals sit it out, like Cherry Bomb and Cashley. Will you get down to your boxers, or what's your plan, Shane?
I'm wearing pasties.
Okay.
Currently?
And I may stuff or I may not, depends on how I'm feeling, if you get what I'm saying.
Are they special pasties? Are they like the pretty ones or any cool design or what? Just like the classic wear regular ones you're going to throw on?
They're definitely bedazzled.
Okay, perfect.
Good.
I was hoping that was the case.
Bedazzled pasties. You're going to do the Chip and Dale bit.
Yeah.
How many members of the staff? Okay, it's 11 o'clock tonight. Starts at. Am I correct about that, Shane? Right?
Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, so we're going to start at 11:30 p.m.
Okay.
We have about 4 staff members, and then we had some Marine friends that helped us out with Toys for Tatas.
Uh-huh.
And they're also performing in the beginning act.
The
of it
friggin'
as well.
Marines?
So we have, yes.
I like those
So
guys.
we
They're
have
so cool.
7 acts total.
Okay.
3 of them the Marines, and then we have everyone ranging from servers to barbacks to management.
Gotcha.
It's super fun. We had
Okay.
a blast last year, and we're excited for this year.
And you ladies just sit back and watch this nonsense unfold.
I'm not even working tonight. I'm just coming in as a customer.
Cherry Bomb, you're just going to be there as a customer, you're saying?
Yeah, I need to watch the Marines. I taught some of them some tricks, so I gotta make sure that they do well.
I'll tell you, that was really cool at Toys for Tatas to see all the Marines there. There was quite a few of them. And I'm glad I'm not a single guy, because I bet they had a different reaction. They thought, well, I'm not going to get any attention whatsoever.
Well, right.
Marines here. I can't compete with that.
Especially when they're in uniform.
Right. They look great.
They were in full-on uniform at this past year's Toys for Tatas, and I remember thinking, I didn't serve. I couldn't cut that. I remember thinking, are these guys going to get in some trouble? I mean, I don't know the rules, but I mean, they were having the time of their damn lives, and I kept thinking, are they going to get a phone call? Okay, 11:30 tonight. Get the staff up there. Every dollar thrown on stage and half the door's entry fee will go to, as Shane mentioned, the Beloved Women's Foundation.
Correct.
Now, you mentioned tips. You may have given the Marines some tips. What are some tips either one of you, Cashley or Cherry Bomb, could give to just a complete schlub like myself who just, Wapple has stripped on stage at Rick's Cabaret before.
Mm-hmm. I've made some cash.
It wasn't a charity event. It was just
he was desperate.
An obscene act is what it was.
I stripped on stage once.
Nobody made it
hail,
hail, did they?
What?
No.
Ashley, what?
I stripped on stage once, but it was an accident.
An accident.
Yeah.
That's right. Because of the fan?
Yep.
What are you referring to?
When my skirt blew up.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Yeah, that was what, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, the first Toys for Tatas that I went to.
She jumped up on stage with her little...
Yeah. We got that fan.
Were you there for that, either one of you?
I was not.
The fan in the floor. And she Ashley jumps up there with her girl, how do you call it, schoolgirl skirt on. and she didn't know the fan was there, and weep. Everybody in the first 5 rows saw her bottom. Okay, so back to what ladies like Cashley and Cherry Bomb, what kind of advice they might give an amateur?
My biggest advice would be...
Can you get right up on that microphone?
Yeah, I can. My biggest advice would be don't think about it too much, because once you start getting in your head, you're not going to be able to do anything.
Okay, don't get in your own head. Get nervous.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to fall.
Okay. Falling down. You almost died falling down once, didn't you, Cherry Bomb?
Yeah, technically I did die twice when I was in the hospital.
I mean,
I forgot that part.
I did not remember that part. Yeah, no.
Yeah, for anybody who missed one of your earlier appearances, you told us the story of getting injured. Do you mind sharing that again?
Yeah, of course. So basically, the first club I worked at, it had a lot taller of a pole, and someone used lotion, and I slipped and fell directly on my head from 10 feet and ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks. I coded twice, had over 200 seizures, and had a stroke.
God help us all. That's an incredible
And you
story.
got right back on that pole, didn't you?
Yeah, like a month and a half later.
God bless you.
What did the doctor say?
A real
did they tell you
champion.
not to get back on the pole anytime soon, or did
They didn't think I would be able to walk for at least 6 more months.
Wow.
My goodness.
And Cashley, you ever had any catastrophes up there?
I haven't had any catastrophes that were that major.
Yeah.
But I definitely have had some rolled ankles. A long time ago, not to get too personal, I started dancing when I was 19.
Yeah.
And then I turned over to serving, bartending, and so on. The story goes on.
Sure.
But yeah, I've definitely rolled some ankles, skinned some knees, bruises all over my thighs. It just comes with the territory. But as far as like giving someone a little piece of advice, I always tell at least like very beginner girls, like if you think you're moving slow, move slower. You're gonna get tired. You got to do 3 songs. That's a good 12 minutes of just moving and grooving.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If you think you're going slow, go even slower.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like any move, it's like, yeah, if you think you're going slow, please just slow down.
Fair enough.
You're going fast.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Shane, are there any surprises on you? I mean, when you get the clothes off tonight, you don't have like a third nipple or any surprises?
I'm not shy, and everything is negotiable, sir.
Yeah, any alternative piercings or anything people can look forward to seeing?
Alternative piercings to look forward to?
Oh, well, I don't have Prince Albert in a can if that's what you're asking for.
Jiminy Christmas.
I mean, I'm not really asking
I
for
have,
it, but I'll take
I
it.
was blessed that my lovely girlfriend shaved my back, so at least you guys would have to see.
Did she go through with that? That's a nice. That's when you know you got to keep her.
True story.
When they'll remove body hair for you.
And to add to that, if your significant other is nice enough to shave a buddy of yours, you got to keep her too. she's a nice person.
Wait a minute. You know a gal who not only shaves her husband, but shaves her husband's buddy?
Well, so a girl I dated, she wouldn't need to shave me. I can't grow hair anywhere.
You are quite hairless.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No,
with the exception of just a portion of my leg.
Your legs are very hairy.
I can grow hair.
You should never say unfortunately.
Well, I just
body
mean
hair and stuff like that's it's torture.
I could use more up top. I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, on the top of your head?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
fair
where
enough.
most hair is supposed to grow.
Where it's supposed to.
But she used to, my buddy, one of my best friends, he lived in the apartment right next to us, and so he'd come over and usually have a bowl of cereal, and she'd shave him up real good.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be weekly because this, you know him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Mucho Grande?
Mucho Grande.
Yeah, he
very Teen Wolf.
Yep. And it takes no time at all for that to come back.
No kidding. What a nice gal. So here's the deal. Tonight at Rick's Cabaret, starting at 11, the girl said more like 11:30. It's Rick's for Chicks. The Beloved Women's Foundation will benefit from this. Every dollar thrown on stage, half the door's entry fee, like I said, will go to their foundation.
And that says something that you have employees willing to come into work, it's not even their shift. They're going for free just to watch this kind of thing. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have quite a bit of staff, even our day shift staff, serving staff, bar staff, and people who aren't even scheduled coming in. We have some good friends that are reserving a table, so definitely call ahead of time and reserve that table if anyone's interested.
Good idea.
Yeah, we're
Good
definitely
idea.
filling up, and we're super excited.
And you gals get a night off to have some fun and watch the dorks get it going. We appreciate you coming in. Have a blast tonight, Shane, Cherry Bomb, and Cashley. If you don't mind me, I hope you don't mind me one day calling you Cat. You can adopt that if you want for your shift.
You know what? I might, and I'm going to tell everyone to refer me to Cashley and Cashley only. Usually they call me Smashley, so this is a fresh beginning.
See, we have a Smashley
Isn't that
Ashley.
weird? I mean, we have Ashley
I
over
have
there.
seen this Smashley take a shoe off and try to kill somebody.
Wait a minute. Are you this one right there from Rick?
Yes.
You guys are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, you are.
Oh my gosh, are you guys? Yeah, you guys must be related somehow.
You have the same name, the same nickname, and both of you are violent.
I beat someone with my shoe once.
We're not surprised by that.
Here's the thing. Our Ashley is going to kill someone someday who will deserve it, right? They will deserve it. Something terrible. They do something terrible, but once you hear the details of what she did, you're no longer on her side. No matter how evil this person is.
Maybe they are the same person.
Yeah, I think they are.
That is really fascinating that we've made this connection. Tonight at Rick's Cabaret, starting around 11:30, Rick's for Chicks. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Cherry Bomb. Thank you, Ashley, Cashley, Smashley.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you having us.
Thank you guys.
Great
Appreciate
having you guys in.
You
Yeah.
bet. You bet. Have a blast tonight.
Doing the Lord's work they are, I'll tell you what.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, that's the truth. And Wapple, I mean, you had a shift up on stage once, and you know that is something that I'll never forget.
That's a fun memory.
So sweaty.
You looked sexy, and you were really sweaty. Were you nervous?
Yes, I was nervous, and then once you get under those lights, things get hot.
Do you remember? I was standing almost hip to hip with you when you got on stage at Rick's.
Yep.
Came out dressed as a lady, removed almost all of your clothing, right? Okay. Do you remember? And seriously, I was grilling you afterwards, asking you if you were on pills or crack rocks.
Yeah, Nick came up to me and said he's on drugs. Nobody sweats that much. 'Cause before you were under the lights, you were sweating.
It was strictly because of the level of sweat that was pouring off of you. I thought, okay, I've always known this kid to be a little bit of a drinker and enjoy some marijuana cigarettes now and again. But I thought he's on...
Molly.
Yeah.
Dripping. Just beads of sweat coming down.
Waffle, were you just
sweat.
soaking wet?
You made it sexy, though. I'd love to see a repeat performance.
Those weren't beads. Those were bullets, dude.
Yeah, and then I think I got like $150 or something. Then we gave it to the charity that we do, At Least Light.
Yep.
All right, that was a special moment.
They kept that a secret where they got that $150, but it did go to a good cause.
For Waffle's G-string.
Gross. The worst part was once you're done dancing, you forget you have to pick up all the money. So then you're pretty much down to nothing. Then you're just crawling around on the stage, scooping up all the cash.
Little Muppet butt cheeks jumping around up there.
Weird.
I guess I've never paid attention to that. I'd be very self-conscious in how I bent over.
Yeah.
I never considered something like that.
Don't bend over in front of the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you're face forward.
Should be a nice party tonight at Rick's.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Father's Day is Sunday. We've mentioned it a few times. I already wished you a happy Father's Day, Cubby, didn't I?
That's because you're a sweet person, a caring guy.
That's right. Josh, parenting made a list of things people are convinced that others just pretend to enjoy.
Really?
Parenting made a list of things people are convinced that others just pretend to enjoy.
I'm a little surprised because, well, I suppose maybe in, more in public they might not say it, but the people I know who don't enjoy it are very vocal about that.
They are?
Yeah, they don't mind sharing specifically what it is that makes them say that, too.
Can you give us an example of a parent who made it clear that they do not enjoy parenting?
Okay, well, I got to try and do it without outing this person, but a particular person talked about they just think their kid's a complete dick.
Yeah.
And by the way, this kid is maybe 6 or 7, and he brings, or this person brings it up quite often.
Well, it happens. I mean, it's not for everybody. Some of these children happen accidentally. You're not ready. You never come around to it. I can understand all of it. I remember I wasn't there, but I got a kick out of hearing this story. My cousin, once, she has a couple little kids. Little, like 4 and 5. And these kids were acting up at a family event. I wasn't there. My sister told me his 2 kids were acting up and they went racing by him. And my cousin said, "Hey, come here," to both of them. And the kids were like, "What?" And he said, "Sit down. That's it. Sit down. You give me 10-minute timeout. time out. Both of you sit down. And one of the kids said, why? And my cousin said, because you're acting like a-holes. I like that. Just cut to the chase.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Absolutely hammered.
On 93X.
Maybe in a handful of hours. Let me get to the bottom of this here before we bust on out of the building. A write-up on things that people believe that others just pretend to enjoy. And right here, setting up for Father's Day, parenting made the list of things that people believe that others just pretend to enjoy. I would have to pretend.
I bet you'd like it.
I'm sure there's moments that are nice, but overall, it doesn't seem that fantastic.
I know I would have made a terrible, awful parent.
I don't think so.
I mean, not criminal, don't get me wrong. I just don't think I would. I'm too lazy. I'm too selfish. I'm the OCD would drive me crazy, the way kids always make a mess.
It might help with that.
Okay.
I can tell you it helped mine. I mean, I remember telling you at first, like, these little people are disasters. There's a mess everywhere they go. My wife is the same. I mean, she's the exact same, but it helped me kind of get over that stuff. So I just have my little area that can remain organized and clean, and then the rest of the stuff I try not to stress out too much.
I like to believe that would be enough for me to have my own little area. We'll never know. Anyone want to chime in here? Something you guys think others just pretend to enjoy because they... like I said before, it gets them noticed because it's popular, because they want to be different.
Well, I could tell you some categories. Certain movies and certain alcohols. I think people pretend like, oh, this is the greatest, or this particular movie. Maybe you haven't even seen it, but you're afraid. There's so many movies that are beloved, and if you haven't seen it, you're shamed. Or if you didn't necessarily like it, you're shamed.
You know, the first thing that came to mind for me was alcohol, and I know we've covered this before, but ever since bourbon became wildly popular here in the last 3 years, I've watched quite a few people pretend to like bourbon. And I'm not saying bourbon is bad. I just know these people. I know that it's not their preferred drink, but they want to fit in and look like they're on the cusp of everything that's hip. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, they do that thing with like, oh yeah, I'm detecting some. You can really taste the oak and stuff. It's like, no, you can't.
They're picking up the subtle notes.
All right.
Well, one for me personally is I pretended to love The Matrix in high school just because everybody else did, and I was too afraid to admit that A, I didn't get it, and B, I thought it was really, really stupid.
I was confused.
I walked out of that theater, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, what the hell was that?
I thought about having my youngest watch it with me, right? Watch the movies, and he was like, well, what's it about? I'm like, I don't really know.
Yeah, there's a couple pills involved.
There's like some slow motion stuff that was kind of revolutionary at the time.
That is hilarious that you spent high school pretending to like The Matrix.
And then like everybody's fired up. The second one's coming out. I'm like, oh God, they made more?
Oh God. Here are some others. Things people are convinced that other people just pretend to enjoy. Avocados is in here.
Oh, I love them. I absolutely love them. I thought of another genre, music. People pretend there's certain bands or artists that, if you don't, all of a sudden you're a pariah. We've told this story before, but Jordan Parisi, he has a band he absolutely loves. All I said when he was talking about him, he asked, are you into this band? I said, well, I understand they're talented, but it's not really for me. I thought he was going to kill me. And he's somebody that couldn't get away with it. The look you were there, Nick. The look he gave me, he was baffled.
Yeah, he was.
He had no idea. Like, how could somebody not worship this band like I do?
He was completely thrown.
So now if anybody says, oh, yeah, they're the best. Love them. All their albums and then the songs and stuff that they do, yeah.
I just thought of one. What about other people's videos?
I don't know what that means.
Like, people pretend to enjoy your videos that you make. Like, you're like, oh, you got to check out this video. It's hilarious.
You mean like of you at home tripping on the stairway? Yeah. I still don't know what you mean. Other people's
Either that or like a funny video that they love on YouTube. Like, oh, you have to check out this amazing video. And then they show it to you and it's horrible.
Okay.
Yep.
But you have to pretend to like it.
Well, you
That's
could make
the worst. And they make you sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're like, how long is it? And you look down at the corner, it's like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
You're like,
and you're like, now I have to wait this whole 9 minutes. Like,
one night, I understand where you're going with this now. One night, maybe the most difficult 15, 20 minutes that I had in my 30s, because I think I was in my 30s. One of my best buddies growing up, and he's gotten a little squirrely nowadays, but he pulled me aside. I at that point in my life, I hadn't seen him much, and he showed up at a bar I was hanging out at, and he said, "Hey, on the radio, you remember when you were young in the business," he says to me, "you used to do a lot of prank phone calls." And I said, yeah, that was big for a while, but now we can't do it anymore because of caller ID and certain rules and things like that. And he said, "Yeah, I get it." But he said, "I made a CD of prank phone calls that I made, and they're so funny. You gotta hear them." And I didn't doubt him, because this was a very funny guy. This is the guy that he and we used to do prank phone calls together when we were kids. I told you we went as far as to prank call Japan. We did this all through junior high and grade school, made prank phone calls. So I didn't doubt that it was going to be funny. He brought me into his car, threw the CD into the CD thing, and it was awful. There was not one single funny minute from any of the 20 prank phone calls that this man, who was 38 years old at the time, and I had to sit there and go, ha, yeah, oh, sure. Yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, that's
horrible. All right.
Yeah, I guess you know what? It brings to mind a couple of memories around here where someone's like, "Oh, I got a great idea for the show. You guys should do this."
No.
And it's really uncomfortable.
Oh, no. Yes, we've had that a few times.
And then sometimes you get the people that are mad that you didn't do it.
Yes. I remember the dude who got mad that we didn't understand the brilliance of his humor. And this was feces, what he presented to us. It was Here are other things in the article. People are convinced that other people are just pretending to enjoy. Dancing at weddings. We all have to do that. We have to pretend. Are we doing
I don't pretend that.
I hate just dancing anywhere. I like to dance, but I've got 2 minutes in me. That's all I've got. I don't want to dance to the next song. And being a girl, especially at weddings, everyone expects you to be dancing with everybody, and it's awful. I hate it.
People pretend to like jogging.
You know what? That is the number one answer coming in via text, is people saying running and jogging.
I enjoy running quite a bit.
What?
Running?
Yep.
Full speed running.
Absolutely love it.
What are you running from?
What is it that you love about it?
And how often do you do it?
I like
truthfully.
That.
Yeah. We didn't know you were a runner.
I run on a treadmill. I'm not an outside person.
The treadmill?
Yeah.
So that's part you're working out your body and you're having some food at the same time?
Yes, exactly.
I didn't know that happened. I go to the gym more often.
Because I do the meal part.
I try to go a couple days a week, but the part that I like is that's at the time when I'm running, that's all I'm thinking about is running.
People pretend to like diet/zero sugar soda.
Oh man, I don't know. My mom had Diet Coke had a grip on her back in the day.
I love it.
Yeah,
my
girlfriend does too.
I grew up in a house with a whole lot of adult women, and they all drank. That's all they drank, diet stuff. And my uncle worked for Coke, so he would bring over these dented and covered and stuffed cases of Coke, right? That we get for free. Diet Coke and Tab back in the day.
Tab.
And so I got used to it. And I know I've had friends that come over and they'd be miserable because it's Diet Coke. It's not regular, but that's all I drink.
I always hated Diet Pop. I always hated it. It's been so long since I've been a pop or a soda, whatever you want to call it, guy. But I'll say this much. I didn't know any better. I've been a Gatorade guy for 20 years. And I never thought I would enjoy a zero sugar Gatorade, but it's really effing good.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some Diet Pops that taste okay out there. People pretend to like hot yoga. People pretend to like oysters. People pretend to like turkey.
I like turkey. I've never had oysters. I don't think I could do it.
People pretend to like raves. They pretend to like books. They pretend to like sparkling water.
Yeah,
people are obsessed with that.
You know what? I'll hop on that. People pretend to like that crap. There's no way.
I like
so
it.
many people like it.
I used to hate it.
It's awful.
But I like it now.
This one throws me. People pretend to like being in a friends with benefits situation.
A situationship.
Situationship? What's not to like about that?
I'm assuming one person may want to have more of an actual relationship.
People pretend to like really, really, really hot weather or really cold weather. I think because it because people will say, "What? You really?" It gets them noticed.
Shows
I mean,
you're
come
tough,
on.
yeah.
When it's 40 below zero, there's always going to be one schmuck who's like, "Doesn't bother me at all."
Yep.
Yes, it friggin' does. Tough guy. People pretend to like driving manual cars.
I love it.
Dude, I love that. I always felt like I was a race car whenever I drove my manual around.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
I had a 3-speed Gremlin that was garbage, but I still like shifting the gears.
Yeah, I felt badass. I was like, yeah, I'm cool.
We gotta go. And it's time to get out of here.
This one's perfect, and I felt this way too. I want to get to this before we go. My kid, when he was younger, he would draw me stuff and ask if I like it, and I'd say yeah, but really I'm looking at it like, did you even make it? Did you even put any attempt to actually trying? That's what came to mind first when the parenting topic came up, is some of those art projects. You know, it's hard. It's like, well, I want to be honest so he doesn't think he's the world's greatest artist, but I probably can't crush his spirit at the same time.
Then you got to put it on the fridge so all your friends see how much your kid sucks at art.
Well, yeah, and what if your kid's trying to be an athlete and he's awful, and then he comes off the field? How did I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You tried your best, kiddo.
Maybe some parents say it was terrible. I don't know, but you probably have to fake that. I mean, you did great out there, Johnny, and the kid's just a klutz. He's terrible. You know, it's a tough gig.
Waffle Jesus sent in a happy 24th birthday to his beautiful girlfriend, little gremlin Jesus. Best of luck to Beer Delivery Jesus. Last day working in Minnesota. We're going to miss him. He's moving to Washington State with his babe, Madison. Good luck and get well to medical chicken lady Jesus. She has to go in for some medical testing on Monday.
Well, good thing she's a medical chicken lady.
I
It's
know.
nothing that she hasn't experienced before.
Happy anniversary to Boom Salon Jesus from GNR Twins Jesus. Happy anniversary to the 6 feet of Norwegian heat Jesus from your husband. I'm sorry, Jesus.
Your husband.
Happy first puppy birthday to Sadie Mae and her brother Zuko from Blacktop Mojo Mofo Jesus. This text says, I'd like to wish my sister / bestie, Stephanie, a.k.a. Beam, a very happy birthday. She's turning 39 tomorrow. Mankato Sucks Jesus said, good luck to all the runners, even the wifey, a.k.a. Sexy Loan Processor Jesus, for grandmas this weekend. And have a happy Father's Day to the dads in the listening audience, and have a great weekend.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Don't wait for an AC breakdown this summer. Get a free in-home estimate with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Schedule your appointment today at standardheating.com.